Plat Chat Overwatch episode 214. I'm reinforced. I'm here with AVRL and Albert Ye, world champion Albert Ye, who is showing off the ring, but also is doing a bit of a podcast tour and has finally stopped off here at Plat Chat LLC to talk a little about the Korean rosters and everything that's going on. How's your off season going, man?
I mean, I don't have a team, so it's going. This is the worst off season I've ever experienced, but it's been good. It's been good, like not having the pressure, and I just get to poop on people that like make bad rosters.
Not doing 12 hours of tryouts all the time.
I just get to be the talking head, and I kind of get why this is fun. You know, I have no skin in the game. I'm just here hating. I'm just here analyzing and hating. You know, that's all I need to do.
You're me now.
You're me professionally. Yeah. So, yeah. I just don't have a ring. I just put my fist up to be in solidarity with no ring on. That's all that was. So,
yeah, I don't have a ring either. We didn't do rings, but I do gotta respect it because the rings look awesome, and so that's going to be a nice parting memory concluding the final season of the Overwatch League. So, as people can already tell, bit of a scuffed episode going into this week, and I'll tell you all about it. First of all, Solomon is not here this week. As you can tell, I'm running the production once more because Solomon is over in Berlin watching Valorant or something. VCT is all the hype now. People love VCT. I personally did not visit the Los Angeles arena this past weekend, but Solomon taking a week off. Do you pay attention to Valorant at all, Albert? Maybe you should go to Valorant. I don't know. That's what the Overwatch people are doing these days.
Yeah, that's what all the cool kids are doing. I would love to go to Valorant. I mean, I would. Yeah. I mean, I just think there's a lot of people in that scene. It's popping. You know, it's kind of hard to just like finagle your way into a scene that's. But hey, guys, Overwatch CS is back. We're back, guys. Overwatch Esports is back. I don't know what they're doing watching Valorant. Like, we're so back.
We're so back. We're so back. There's lots of optimism on this podcast.
But we're so back.
Overwatch Esports is not dead, guys. It's a false alarm.
We gotta figure out this acronym because, like, when I hear Overwatch CS, I'm like, bro, Overwatch Counter Strike. I'm in, buddy. We're doing Counter Strike now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
just like, what?
I'm trying to make Overwatch CS a thing because then it's like, you know, people.
Overwatch CS:GO. Oh my god! Like, yeah. I wish to just call it what it is. It's ouchies. That's what the acronym is. We're doing. It's, you know, Overwatch is now ouchies. Yeah. OWCS, Overwatch CS. I can't get used to it. Overwatch CS. I don't
it's
know
all good. It's all good. You'll get used to it. All right. So the reason we don't have a fourth on the podcast is because we're doing this as a bit of a last minute. As you can see up in the corner somewhere, it's in the corner up there. It says pre-recorded 21st of February. So this is a pre-recorded episode because tomorrow when this airs on Thursday, I'm going to be down in Irvine for the Overwatch Connect thing where we typically air on Thursday. So I won't be available to do a live episode. And so I just got Albert and AVRL together very last minute to just record this episode to make sure there was an episode out. We could have done it on Friday, but I'm traveling on Saturday. McGravy, who was supposed to be on, is also traveling on Saturday. AVRL is doing some shit too, and Albert is also going away next week. So it's all over the place. It's just one of those skeleton issues, you know?
I'm no longer doing anything, so I'm actually super free again.
There you go. So, but
I'll see you again next week, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I asked a couple of people if they could come on last minute to be our fourth, but then I had to run an errand this afternoon. And while I was running this errand, I accidentally scraped my car, and then I was just boomed for the rest of the day. And I was just like, you know, I don't feel like getting a fourth because I just fucked my car up. It's been a bad day. But instead of going to therapy, I'm now instead hosting a podcast like we always do. So it's going to be a great time, and we'll just talk it over. We'll just make sure it never happened in the first place. So I appreciate AVRL, Albert, you being here for this episode. And we're going to get into some of the hotfixes, the hotfix patch that came out today. We'll get Albert's thoughts on Season 9 if you've been playing it. Dicko mode out in ranked, probably haunting people. Also, the broadcast details came out this week. And Stage 1 in Korea. Obviously, the open qualifier is kicking off. But first, hold on. Production. Wait a minute. Doing live production without
Give me the rocket. Give me the rocket.
I actually don't have a rocket. The rocket is not here. But what is here is Manscaped. Use code PLATCHAT for 20% off plus free shipping. As you can see on the website, you got all these amazing performance package 5.0 Ultra, or you got the Platinum package 5.0 Ultra as well. we talk about all these products all the time because we love Manscaped. They support the show. They make sure this happens. 2024 is here in full swing, and that means it's time for a New Year's resolution check-in with our friends at Manscaped. It's never too late to level up your grooming game and keep your bush tamed. Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Whether you're going for a trim or that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered. Trusted by over 10 million men worldwide. Now is your time to get a grip on your grooming with exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code PLATCHAT for 20% off plus free shipping. The ball has dropped, but don't drop the ball on your balls. Here we go. Manscaped. Use code PLATCHAT for 20% off plus free shipping. No rocket, AVRL. I'm sorry. I don't have a rocket for you today, but I'll make sure Solomon pulls it up next week. We appreciate the support, Manscaped, and making sure that PLATCHAT keeps running. All right, let's get into the patch notes that dropped earlier today as we're recording. Zenyatta has been a big topic here. We sort of expected like a Zenyatta meta. We've seen a lot of Zenyatta in ranked. People on Twitter were raving about Zenyatta the entire time. Albert, your initial thoughts here on Zenyatta's base health being reduced from 100 to 75. Is this too much? What do we think?
You mean from 200 or wait?
Base health decreased from 175. So he obviously has shield. So in total with the shield, Zenyatta has like 275 health or whatever. But the base health, not the shields, is reduced from 100 to 75. So, you know, essentially cutting off 20%, 25 there.
I think that was needed. But I mean, we all saw Christopher's tweet, right? On his, he thinks Zen is like situational. It's not like a must pick not optimal on necessarily every map. And I kind of agree with him. But when it was like optimal, like Zen was very oppressive with that HP. Like you were feeling like you're feeling like Jonak in what was it, season 2 with the brig armor. You're feeling like Jonak just walking around with like infinite HP, just hitting meat shots on people. So yeah, I think the HP change is a good. It's a good nerf, I would say. Yeah.
What do you think, AVRL?
I think Discord's the problem still. I mean, HP is one thing. They touched the kick. No, I think the kick also got
decreased,
tuned down. Yeah. So I mean that's all fine, but I think the primary issue with Zen will always be the fact that damage boost is still really unhealthy in the game, and I think that on top of the fact that you have increased projectile sizes, this means things like Discord in particular, Blue Beam as well. But since we're talking about Zen, Discord in particular becomes just like that much more oppressive. I'm surprised they haven't touched Discord, but then again, it's a hotfix patch, so I think if they are going to touch Discord, it'll happen more like a mid-season or
I like Discord. Is that a hot take?
Kind of thing. Didn't they already take care of Discord, like, or tweak Discord? Like you can't just perma Discord people anymore. There's like a CD, right?
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know if that actually. I think that most people that play Zen think that's pretty bad. It feels bad. I can tell you, it feels awful. Bad.
I don't normally play Zen, but yeah,
it's not intuitive at all. It doesn't feel good for the character, and I actually think that's the wrong kind of change. You want the kind of change where I would rather just tune the numbers. Actually, my perfect solution would be just get rid of Discord and rework that ability entirely.
I like Discord. I like target calling. Just like this person has Discord, like hunt them down.
How do you feel when you get Discord as tank though, dude? Don't you like feel like you get blown up?
I mean, sure, I have to adapt my play style, but you know, maybe that's just a tank life. I mean, I've been doing this for 8 years now. You just get Discord and you have a miserable time. Like I'm used to it at this point. I don't know.
I mean, tanks are used to getting hit with a ton of damage, so it's like Discord just, you know, you're usually aware. You're like, oh shit, like I could just get blown. You know,
like it's way worse with the projectile changes. Is the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's significantly more oppressive.
Yeah, I mean the projectile size for Zenyatta is crazy right now. But that's also made Zenyatta like a lot of fun to play. So maybe that's what we needed to see. You brought up the Christopher tweet, and obviously I put out an initial tweet there where I said that like, hey, you probably should nerf Zenyatta by 25 health, or I think that. Sorry?
So you did this?
Well, yeah, no, but I know. But the point was that I made that tweet because I was like, it looked very much at the time of that tweet. You know, I'd even been watching the scrims. I'd even been watching, you know, We Spitfire and some of these teams scrims Zenyatta actually, and they were, you know, just dominating playing this hero. We saw Tracer and I think it was Tracer Genji, a little bit of Sombra and Wrecking Ball a lot of the time. I know APEC played that too. But I just saw a lot of Zenyatta, and I knew people in ranked play a ton of Zenyatta. To this day, even though you're not seeing it in pro scrims, you're seeing a lot of Zenyatta in ranked. And I just like got flashbacks to mid-season patches ruining OWCS and, you know, Overwatch League playoffs, what have you, and just like ruining the competitive integrity. And I was like, hey, maybe you should make a hotfix nerf in case Zenyatta is like really strong, and just to make sure that when the eventual mid-season patch comes, that's not going to, you know, mess up OWCS. Now, as it were, it seems, especially in pro streams recently, that Zenyatta usage has been toned down, and we've been seeing all kinds of different support metas. You know, we've been seeing a lot of Lucio Kiriko from We Spitfire. Korea played Lucio Kiriko as well. I took a look at the runaway scrim codes, and in North America yesterday, I saw some of the collegiate teams, like Maryville University, they play like Lucio Ana. So we're barely seeing any Zenyatta. Do I think when it comes to other kind of skill tiers in Overwatch that maybe Zenyatta still needed a nerf? I honestly can't speak to that. But there is, I guess, a fear here now by nerfing Zenyatta that this just like ruins Zenyatta, that like it's unplayable at this point, because, you know, if people in ranks figure out that you can dive Zenyatta, if you play Lucio Kiriko, Lucio Moira, stuff like that, right, then you're already countering Zenyatta, and now Zenyatta has even less survivability, especially with the knockback decreasing, right, and Winston and Wrecking Ball being pretty good, right? So I guess the main concern here is that you're taking a hero that, yes, looked pretty good in ranked, but might have been phased out over time. Now you're just like nerfing Zenyatta, not into the ground, but to the point where maybe it's not an optimal pick, right? So I guess that's what I'm worried about.
You're worried about Zen not being an optimal pick?
Yeah, I'm you know, going from like S+ tier to like maybe Zenyatta now is now like, I don't know. Maybe you'd rather want an Ana. Maybe you want Kiriko seems really powerful now, based on what we're seeing. So,
I think. I mean, you talking about in pro scrims or ranked or both? Like a.
Well, I mean, we're seeing a lot of Kiriko right now, but yes, I'm talking about ranked over time, because I do think in ranked especially, it takes a longer time for the meta to develop in ranked, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess over time, I'm worried that Zenyatta will be phased out. Yeah.
I don't think there's any good metas for Zen in Overwatch 2, unless we're talking about like,
you're just a Zenyatta hater, man.
No, okay, that's weird. That's weird, because I quite enjoyed the Zen metas that we had in season 4. But I think right now you're right. Like, where do you fit Zenyatta into comp? Like, he's either going to be S+ or play lower in the list. Because you're just looking at him being this glass cannon again, where you got to drop the health. His damage output is really good, and the Discord is obviously untouched. So, yeah, I mean, to fit him into a lineup right now, he has to bring something to the table over Lucio, who's also very good, or an Ana who still synergizes well into dive, over a Kiriko, which is still synergizes into rush and dive, and just a lot of different stuff as well, and has a bit more of a consistent right click now as well on the kunai. So you have to think about where you actually fit this character in the comp, and definitely with the nerf, it's going to be more difficult to justify him in the comp in any type of composition. I just think he doesn't fit into as many compositions in Overwatch 2 compared to Overwatch 1. Yeah.
I think just because Zen as a pick, as a hero, is very like selfish, right? Like there's no, if you get Dove as a Zen, you either got to win that duel or there's no like mitigation. There's no like, can't mitigate the damage. Like there's no, like, Ana has a sleep, right? He has a bio nade, you have a self heal. Zen has no self heal. They just have damage, and they have no like Break has a flail. He can knock people back. Lose has a boop, right? I mean, you can kick someone as Zen, but they have to be very close to you. So I think that's.
I figured it out. Zen is the roadhog of supports. There it is. Boom. The most selfish support. That just like he's just there to, you know, he's just there to do damage and do his thing.
I think if Zen had a movement ability, he would be playable, like, for sure. But like, it's just a static. It's like when all the other supports that you can pick, flex supports at least, have movement, or at least Ana, they don't have movement, but they have like dive mitigate, or like, you know, you can save yourself with Ana's kit. The only way you can save yourself in Zen is just killing whoever's diving you, right? So I think that's
and every flex support is just way more playmaking ability. If you, unless you, that's why I'm saying, like, you can't run Zen unless it's double flex support. And we just don't have that many double flex support metas unless it's Circle Royale, Sigma, long range poke battles.
And the healing's just not as good.
You can't run Zen over a Bat. You can't run him over a Kiri or an Ana or any of that kind of stuff. So all the other flex supports outperform Zen in most metas, which means Zen can't be run over them unless he's super busted.
Right. There you go. Yeah, so it seems like you, Albert, you're a bit more optimistic about the usage of Zen. Do you think that this change still will, we'll still see some Zenyatta in ranked Season 9, do you think?
I think ranked is a different story than like actual competitive, like OWCS or, Saudi E-League, whatever. But yeah, I think it will still be viable in ranked because ranked, it's less team coordination. I mean, I say that right now as we've seen 5 stacks just going at it in ranked, so maybe not right now.
Yeah, what's going on there, man? It's crazy.
Well, because everyone's trying to get champ 1.
Yeah.
So everyone's 5 stacking, because that's the easiest way to guarantee wins or get more wins, right? You're 5 stacking. You're with your friends. You can coordinate dives.
That was the old Evermore strategy back in the day.
Yeah.
Get 5,000 SR, just 5 stack late at night. Yep.
But I think solo queue I think Zen will always be fine. Like if you're hitting your shots, you can do anything in ranked. Like you can play anything in ranked, really.
Slightly off topic, how do people feel about the 5 stacking? Because like this is the reason that GMs and I don't know about masters, but GMs in the past couldn't 5 stack because it would turn into everyone 5 stacking, right? So I mean, I don't know, like doesn't that certainly should ruin the experience for solo players. Now solo players are like sitting there like, holy shit, I'm up against stacks every single game. Must be hell. Like I don't know what that feels like because my rank is far too low to be worried about it. But I'm sure, if you're
personally,
GMQs, it's like is weird.
Me personally, I'm finding some friends. You're finding some friends. You can stack. Because I feel like one of the things with Overwatch is like you couldn't. I don't know. You play solo on your Smurf. Like you want to prove a point. Like I want to solo to whatever rank. Sure, you can make another account for that. But like your main or whatever, play with friends. Find some friends. I mean, maybe your friends don't play Overwatch anymore. That's a little tragic.
Can't believe they're making me get friends. Huh? Forcing friendships upon people.
I honestly haven't played any 5 stacks, and I mean, I'd probably play like, I don't know, 60 games too many. It's something around there, like 40, between 40 and 60 games, and like I honestly haven't played against any 5 stacks. Yeah.
What? Okay. What rank are you right now?
I am Masters 5.
That's not bad. Wait, no, that's not bad. Wait, okay. Not a 5 stack.
Okay. I don't know if they're 5 stacks. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
But I haven't been like. Are you able to tell these days? Is it like a connected thing in the pre-match screen or something?
Okay, so you go to social, Johnny, and you right-click their name and you invite them to the group. You're in the game already, so that doesn't do anything. It'll tell you like player if they're in a stack. It'll say player already in a group. If you click on 5 names and all of them are in a group, they're all in the same.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Or it's like a 2 and 3, but like you get the idea.
This is what you do. If you win, it's fine. You're probably not a stack. If you lose, fucking stacks, man. Every game I lose,
freaking stacks, man.
So if you lose, blame it on stacks.
Honestly, I haven't noticed
played
it.
a 5 stack, at least one. At least one, guaranteed. You played at least one.
And hell, even on release day, I saw that Custa was streaming with his content creator team. With Emong and J3 and
he was scrimming in ranked. They were scrimming in ranked.
But the thing is, they didn't win all the games. I mean, they started out. I think they started out like 7-1. I just briefly checked the vote, but I think they started out like 7-1, and then they ended up being like 7-6 or something, and they were in like Masters 3 trying to get over the hump, right? So,
I think the matchmaker puts you against other 5. Like if there's another 5 stack in their SR vicinity, or MMR vicinity, they'll match you up. But if they can't find anyone, then you'll get like some potentially lopsided games.
Yeah. And I think some people have complained as well about the threshold of that queue timer. So as the queue goes longer, the likelihood that you'll queue into two stacks or a 2 stack and a 3 stack, that probably increases, right, to prevent these super long queues, right? And so I think I've seen some people complain about that threshold, that it's too low, which means that the 5 stack has a relatively easy time getting into very winnable games against opponents that are less grouped together, so to speak. So I don't know. I'm not having a huge problem with it right now, but I can imagine if you're especially like champion 5, champion 4, you're probably running into way more 5 stacks than any of us are. I don't know what rank are you, Albert.
I've placed like Masters 3 and Masters 2.
There's a big clump there. There's a lot of people in the Masters.
Apparently, by the way, champ 3 is the highest. You can't get above champ 3.
You can't get above champ.
Or you mean like you can't? I think the highest rated player is champ 3 right now.
No, I do.
Wait,
you can't get placed in champ. You can't get placed in champ. The highest you can get placed is masters or GM, low G. I don't know.
Probably low GM, yeah. And then you have to work your way up.
Yeah, I think I misread something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, champ 3 is the highest rank currently attained. I believe the highest rank right now is RuPaul on champ 3.
But also, as you climb the ladder, the requirements for the 5-stack is obviously going to narrow. So I don't know exactly. I can't reference them right now. But I think if you're champion 5 or 4 or something, you have to be within like the same skill division or like within one skill division or something like that. So it's so that it really narrows up there. But maybe it's a problem in the very high ranks, but it's not something I personally experienced so far. But it used to be a big problem in like Overwatch 1 and stuff. I remember queuing into games against like freaking Rejay Hong and Fury and stuff, and you just be like, oh, this is over.
I think that was a player base issue. I think more players, there are more players because the games are much faster, right? Like I'm sure you guys have noticed the difference in Overwatch 2 queue times versus Overwatch 1. Obviously, 1 less, 2 less people required to make a game, so it's faster. But I also think the player base is fairly healthy at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of tweets, people enjoying the game. Like I feel like, as an old man, like I feel like the game feels good. I feel like some of those things that weren't hitting in the previous patch with the buff, like okay, like yeah, I deserve those kills. Like I feel like, I don't feel like I'm getting kills that I don't deserve on some things. Like, but most of the shots I'm hitting, I feel like okay, I feel like I deserve that. Not it was gifted to me.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one time where I kind of clipped somebody around a corner, and I put out a tweet where I got booped from beyond a wall. And that pissed me off. So I don't know if that had something to do with it. I don't think the Lucio boop, the sound wave ability got a hitbox increase. So maybe that's just always been in the game. Last thing about the stacking I'll talk about is, sorry for like kind of hijack the topic. I'm sure we'll finish off the patch notes. The last thing I'll say about stacking is I don't want to see a single content creator complain about stacking because they wanted this for so long. And this is not me like attacking content creators, but like
it's coming, AVRL.
It will be funny. It's just funny if they ask for something and they complain about the same thing. It's like you guys asked for it. You guys wanted to stacking for content. It's all good. Stacking with your friends is fun. Go ahead and do it. It's not going to affect my game. I'm nowhere near the level of rank where that will ever impact me. So to me, it won't matter. But like, bro, ain't nobody out there better be hypocrites about this situation where you ask for stacking and then you start complaining about it because now you start losing to stacks. So I better not see any tweets out there complaining about stacking from the content creators. All I'm saying.
Don't you worry, they're inbound. They'll just give them a few months and they'll be inbound. I'm heading down tomorrow to the Overwatch Connect thing, so I'll get a quick debrief and see if these people have run into 5 stacks or anything, because some of them are way high ranked.
Interview every streamer and be like, do you like stacking? How do you feel about stacking?
Yeah, I'll do like a survey now, and then I'll do a survey in 6 months, and we'll see how it's gonna progress since then. All right, I just quickly want to wrap up the patch notes. There were a few notable changes here that is definitely worth bringing up. One of them is Illari, of course, who many have been talking about as the worst hero in Overwatch right now, right there with Junkrat, for example. And so we're seeing some cooldown decreases when it comes to the healing pylon, and as well as some increased damage when it comes to the captive sun. When we're talking about flex supports here, we talked about Zenyatta's role as a flex support. How do you think about Illari here, Albert?
What was bad about it? What was bad about her, by the way? Why did people think she was bad? I'm just curious.
Okay, so I'll tell you from most of her healing comes from her pylon, right? And it's a destroyable pylon. So the higher up you go, you learn to shoot like deployables. So you shoot her pylon, and she no longer okay, so she's strong when her pylon's somewhere and it's healing the team, whatever, and Illari's doing damage. Or it's healing Illari, and Illari can keep peeking like an off angle because they have their own source of healing and doing damage. Once you make an Illari focus on having to heal because they're a flex support, you've taken away all the advantages or all the benefits of playing Illari, which is like basically you have a third DPS.
That's always been in the game since her release. I just don't know why the season 9 people are saying she's bad. Has she always been bad, or is it just season 9? Is I guess more my point. Because this pylon healing has always been part of.
I mean, are people? Right? I think she's. I mean, have people played Illari? I mean, I think the last time people played Illari seriously was like Toronto Defiant, and that was just like
she said. Well, people are saying she's the worst character in the game. Are they just saying it now because it's season 9, or have they always felt this way is my position, because I've never seen the discourse of people saying she's the worst
Who is saying
until now in season 9.
What is it?
Yeah,
Many
Johnny,
people are
bring
saying
Ilari's
the
the
sources,
worst?
Johnny.
Who's saying Ilari's the worst?
I
Johnny,
mean,
what are the
just bring
sources,
up
Johnny? What are the
just bring
sources?
up the tier list. Actually, there was a post on competitive Overwatch today that aggregated all the content creator tier lists. So I mean, I'll just quickly go to that post and we can look for ourselves to actually who criticized Ilari.
Yeah, my point is just like the commentary about the pylon healing, like that's been in the game since her release, so I don't know why that would, like, if that makes her bad, then she would have been bad from release, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think it definitely part of it is just like adjusting to playing Ilari, right? So wait, what is happening here? I'm zooming in and the picture gets smaller.
Because I can tell you, in my low ranks,
Ilari is
people,
at the
people
bottom
don't
of
shoot at
all
pylons.
supports. There, you know, Flats says it's a 0, so I guess that's the worst. There's a couple of 1s here. There's a few 2s from J3, ML7, and Emong, and a couple more 1s from Wanted and Poco. So the lowest score when it comes to supports from content creators. This is content creators, of course. So, you have your listeners probably have their preferred kind of like silo of, or source of information. But here we go, like the worst flex support.
In Elo Hell, where people don't shoot pylons, she might even be considered to some people. Not for me, because I'm better at the game now because of the projectile size. But yeah, she could even be deemed somewhat oppressive in low ranks because people don't fucking shoot the pylon. So you just see Ilari with infinite healing because people don't know how to shoot a pylon. It's ridiculous.
I mean, to be fair, this is a very small sample size.
Yeah, but you asked who said it was the
You're
worst,
saying,
and I provided the receipts.
Like many people are saying this. Like many people are not saying that. Like a few people are saying that.
40% of Americans agree.
Oh wait, sorry, I forgot that Lifeweaver exists. Lifeweaver is probably the worst.
Lifeweaver, there's Mercy. Like I don't know. I know people lose their shit when there's a Mercy, like a bad Mercy player. I'd rather have a good Ilari player than a bad Mercy. To me, like it doesn't really. I don't know. If you're good at Ilari and you can hit your shots and you're getting picks, like great. I'd rather have an Ilari in rank than a Mercy that's just blue beaming their E date.
I think Captive Sun definitely got worse in season 9 because the health pool increases. So that needed to increase so that Captive Sun could be like quote unquote good again to match how good it was in season 8. So that needed a buff. I'm cringing a little bit at the pylon stuff. I get that at higher ranks, this is probably a welcome change. But at the low ranks where I exist, it's just like, bro, oh my god, this ability is going to be way more oppressive now. Like, bro, the amount of times you sit there and chokes, 2 teams staring at each other and chokes, and you can't win that poke battle because the other team is an Ilari with infinite pylon healing, I'm just like, yeah, I might just ult F4 right now. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but also when you're trying to fit in Ilari to some of the professional compositions, like it's not a hero that necessarily like helps you win some of these games. Like it doesn't bring you any kind of like tempo. It doesn't have any kind of like important utility at all. It's pretty much extra damage, and to make the most of that extra damage, you probably have to get some kind of like off angle. You're pretty diveable except for your
shift.
Yeah, the name escapes me. The boop ability, but it's just not like a super effective hero when you try to work it into a composition, right?
Yeah. Well, Ilari's a damage dealer. It's not like damage. I feel like is primary. Their secondary job is they can heal you. Because if your Ilari's your Ilari does not pumping out enough healing to make them like a primary, like better than any of the other healers. You could like a BAP or a, or an Ana or, Kiri. Kiri can save you. All that.
Guys, I got it. I'm out here with the analogies today. If Zenyatta is the Roadhog of supports, then Ilari is the Jungle Queen of supports. A slightly less greedy, less selfish tank of the support. There it is.
I don't even know how that makes sense this time around, but
I'm just saying whatever comes to my mind.
I'll let you cook, Gabriel. I'll let you cook. I'm not gonna.
Off the top of my dome.
Yep. Sure. Well,
I'm freestyling right now. Is what's happening.
Let me know in the YouTube comments how you feel about Gabriel's analogies. That's what we want to hear right now.
But I'm fine with the buffs.
Yeah, same.
I'm fine with the buffs.
Same.
Ilari's not that great of a hero, so let's tune her up a little bit. That's fine with me.
Yeah. We also had the Mercy and the Lucio changes. They made some projectile size changes here. I don't know if there's...
The Mercy mains are hating. They are hating. It's like, guys, why is this a problem, Mercy mains? Come on. Like, this is such a...
I didn't want to go there, Avril, but here we are.
Well, someone's got to do Jaws' job. Someone's got to do Jack when he's not here.
There's no need. Like, it's the Caduceus Blaster. All right? Like...
How many times are you whipping out, like, maybe Valk? But like, other than when you're valking, how many times are you actually whipping out the pistol?
People would
Let
not
it
even
be
whipping out
large
the
for
pistol
all I
during
care.
Valk.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know about that, but like, I mean, I think this is a nothing burger. Like, it was already easy hitting shots with, you know, when you're in Valk form,
Sure.
you're just blasting someone on like before. So now they already made it easier. Like, they're nerfing it a little bit. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
They're just like, I can't believe Mercy's hitting nerfed again. Like any patch note with Mercy, with her numbers go down, it's absolute mania out there. So yeah, Albert, this is the most nothing burger nerf ever. This is what it is.
The use case for the blaster is so like, you know, like I don't know how many games I've seen a Mercy end in like high, you know, GM, like top 100 games. Mercy players 0 damage. Like, I don't know how many, like, you didn't pull out the blaster one time. Like, who cares?
Exactly. Yeah. Very minor change. Lucio on the other half, really strong right now. Many people call it the best support hero in the game. No, I'm kidding. But you know,
Johnny, I will agree with you. Many people are actually saying that. Many people are saying that Lucio is the best.
I've checked the polling data. Yeah. Lucio is leading the polls right now
in the game for sure. Like, actually, I'll agree with you. Many people are saying that.
They didn't touch the knockback increase we saw with the Season 9 patch, so Frogger, among many, rejoiced over this fact that they didn't touch the knockback. They only touched the base projectile size. That's quite a bit of ult charge.
That's the difference between Lucio mains and Mercy mains. Where Lucio mains, oh, thank God. Just a slight slap on the wrist, fellas. Thank God we didn't get nerfed hard. Whereas the Mercy is like, bro, any nerf, they go crazy. Lucio's, they're just happy to exist.
Yeah. But perhaps in order for Lucio, I don't know if we have any additional commentary. We have quite a bit to get through, so I'm trying to speed run here. Widowmaker, they now use the smaller 0.05 meter hit scan projectile size modifier. Total projectile size is now 0.05 meters. So a sniper, you actually have to aim at people now, whereas before you could kind of shoot nearby people. You know, it's the Valorant meme, shooting around the robot thing. Now you actually have to be a sniper in this case if you're the Widowmaker. And they changed some of the scope shot damage fall off ranges to kind of counteract that.
The only true one-shot hero is still in the game. Yeah, I would hope it's harder to aim. I would hope that the projectile size has got nerfed.
Yep. There we go for Widowmaker. Tracer, pulse pistols, minimum fall off range reduced from 12 to 10. So
I honestly needed. They increased the damage, and like Tracer's been busted. Like Tracer's one clipping people all over the place, but even on new patch with higher HP. So.
Yep. And similar change for Soldier 76 as Widowmaker, where now uses the smaller hit scan projectile size modifier. Soldier, another really strong hero in this patch. So they're just doing some small tune changes to some of the top heroes we've been seeing so far. And Alec Dawson, he commented on ML7 stream yesterday as well, that they're just seeing these heroes win a little bit too much, so they're just touching them up here a little bit. Junkrat, seeing some slight buffs here to the concussion mine anyway, including some damage adjustments and the cooldown decrease from 8 to 7 seconds.
Why is the minimum damage 55? Explain. What is that?
I'm not a Junkrat main. Don't ask me. Don't ask me, buddy.
Well, Jake sent a DM to Alec Dawson and was like, my fella, my bro, come on. Help me out here. So.
That's going to be effective, especially when you just like toss it out and someone's nearby.
That's a mass, like 110 to 120, 10 damage. 20 to 55, that's more than double. That's more than double the minimum damage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Junkrat seemed to be pretty bad after season 9, so it's
Johnny,
it seems to be what?
Did we get baited by Funny Astro and RuPaul because they said Junkrat was good?
Well, yeah, in the earlier season,
and then we discovered Junkrat was bad. Like, what happened?
They Funny Astro talked about like dive Junkrat and shit like that. I think people in EU ranked might have just like entered psychosis or something. I don't know. They just
Junkrat's always been good in rank. Junkrat's been good in rank for a while now. Like.
I saw Junkrat being pulled out in scrims yesterday. I saw
Kevstone Junkrat.
I saw Vision on Junkrat. I don't know on that Flashpoint round. There was a little bit of maybe like a little bit of the North American trolling there. I was like, okay, it's the last map of the scrim block. People are just losing their mind a little bit, but I saw it happen.
Swapping Junkrat is an indicator of.
I don't know. It's been really fun. I saw the same thing with Vestola. Vestola pulled out the Mauga, and I was just like, wow, I guess Vestola's bored. Like, she's pulled out the Mauga on control. So it's been fun watching the pro scrims because, especially because they're scrims, they're being a bit silly at times. So it's been fun watching the silliness.
You get a little silly towards the end of the blocks.
Yeah. You've been going, especially when you do 2 blocks in a row. You're on like the 4th hour. It's the last map. You get a little silly with it. Bring out the Junkrat. So there you go.
Tired of people bitching on your team. You're like, all right, well, I'm just gonna troll, and then you can, you look silly if you get mad at me because I already said I'm trolling.
Yep. That being said, though, Vision popped off yesterday, so it was fun watching him play Ashe. He played Ashe quite a bit, so not the Junkrat so much. But anyway, Hanzo is the final hero. The Spring Touch from the damage heroes anyway, where they reduce the projectile size a little bit here too. Really good and effective at poking now with the change to storm arrows and stuff like that. So they're just tuning some of these hit scan boxes a little bit. I don't know if you have any comments on Hanzo here.
Hanzo was too easy to hit.
Hanzo
was ridiculous.
Despite not having a one shot, his body shot percentage is really high. Like, you could hit some arrows.
It's a lot of damage.
Projectiles.
That was like one of the heroes that I played that I was like, I'm noticeably like, I'm getting free kills that I don't think I deserve, but yeah. And Hanzo's already a lottery hero to begin with. So like just hitting like a random shot and also being like, wow, that was like not even close to their head or whatever. Like, yeah, I agree.
All right, taking a look at the tank heroes here quickly. We got Zarya, some buffs to Zarya. Primary fire minimum damage increase from 85 to 95 damage per second, and primary fire maximum damage increase from 170 to 190 damage per second. I've been seeing some mixed feelings about Zarya. I've been seeing some Zarya being played in ranked, but also in pro lobbies where they use it to bubble in Genjis and Reapers, like the good old Dallas Fuel days. So slight buff to Zarya. Maybe could see a little bit more Zarya being used in the coming few weeks here. I don't know if you have any thoughts on Zarya here, but definitely not up there with some of the better tanks, I'd say right now. Maybe it'll be different after this change.
She's been out of the meta for a while, so this might help.
As a Zarya one trick, I applaud this change.
A Zarya one trick. I love that. Yeah, Zarya's fun, man. I've been playing some Zarya too.
Albert's 2 heroes are Hanzo and Zarya. There it is. This is hero.
No. Hanzo, yeah. Okay, I was an off-tank player when I competed, so it was like I was a 2-trick tank. I was a Zarya Diva 2-trick, like everyone else back in the day. Overwatch 2, tank has not been as fun for me because I feel like there's a lot of pressure. Like I gotta play like main tanks, I gotta play off tanks. Like I just want to be lazy and pick one of like the 2 tanks I'm really good at and just
Oh, that's how you feel? I'm the opposite, where I'm just like, oh, I can play everything, but I have really varied results. Where
but you really can't. Like you can play, but like the same. I'm like, if I want to climb, like I need to play Zarya. Like I just tell my team, I'm like, look, we're on Circuit Royale. I know you want a Sigma. I'm gonna get Sigma gap to like the infinite, like
relatable
degree. So like I'm gonna play Zarya, and then we're just gonna see what happens, But I'm gonna try my best, and most of the time it works out better than than me trying to mirror a Sigma one trick on Circuit Royale.
Yeah, we might see some more Zarya with this change right here. We got Take a Breather, damage reduction increase from 40 to 50 on Roadhog, and we have Diva, the base projectile size reduced from 0.25 to 0.2 meters.
That's their pistol, right? That's her pistol.
That's the
light
baby
gun.
Diva.
Oh, that's the light gun.
Diva.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Reasons.
It's the same.
They saw it in the data,
pistol.
guys.
It's I think you got to make the Mercy pistol and the Diva pistol the same.
Give Diva.
I respect
give Diva the Glock.
The Glock.
Mercy. Baby divas need a powerful personal defense weapon. Give her a Glock. Give her a Glock with.
This is actually hilarious. This is so funny.
Baby Diva should have both the Malgus chain guns in Baby Diva form.
Yeah, actually, that's great. Dual wield. Lower the projectile side. You get a dual wield. You get 2.
You should have a Baby Reaper and the 2 guns, Baby Diva's gun and Mercy's Glock. Those are your 2 guns as small Reaper. That's got to be a new hero.
This is incredible Plat Chat lore in the making, because we did actually have an episode way back at the start that I think was called Give Genji a Glock. So here we are with Give Diva a Glock. So some more Plat Chat lore in the making right there, but that's the patch notes for you. Overall, I think it's pretty good patch. Some small changes that will fine-tune the beta.
I like how
Are you gonna sag, AVRL? Where are you going?
What do you mean?
Are you going in a different direction, or are you saying it's a bad patch?
No. I'm saying I'm glad. I said I'm glad. What did you hear? I said,
Okay.
I said,
All right.
He's glazing actually.
What sag? What do you mean? Where did sag come from? Was like, did you think I said I
Zigzag?
sag? Anyway,
Zigzag?
I was saying
If you
glad
zig,
how
I sag?
quickly. I'm glad
No?
how quickly they addressed the patch, like
Okay.
they addressed the game, because usually in many previous seasons you would not see a balance change until mid-season.
Yeah.
Whereas here they're like, we might do something right the fuck now. I'm like, oh, good, nice, very good. I like that. Do more of that.
I never minded like big changes as long as the frequency also is like, okay, so we're taking a big swing, like we might have to, we have to come back and fix some things. It's like, that's fine. I think the problem is when you leave, when you're like, okay, you don't do enough and then the game's still stale. It's like, do a lot and the game's changing. If something's broken, it's not broken for very long. Like, I think the game's still enjoyable that way. More enjoyable that way than the alternative, which is like GOATs for an entire year.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, even last season, in Season 8, we did have a long period of time where Mauga was just like the definitive tank pick. Yeah. And to a lot of people, that was really boring. A lot of people stopped playing ranked because Mauga was just the best hero by far.
Mauga mirrors, and it's just like, what, like you're just...
It was terrible.
You're just a bystander. You're just standing there as your two Godzilla like tanks just duke it out, and then whoever
Exactly. Yeah. So I think some of this probably stems from the fact that they want to avoid that. They want to avoid scenarios in which, especially when you have a hero like Mauga with, as AVRL has put it many times on the podcast, very low skill expression. Like when you get those mirrors, it's not fun to play. It's not fun to watch, and so. I think the developers also, they're quick to do some changes here because they recognize they don't want to be put in a position where one hero is perma-picked all the time. In this case, we're actually seeing a lot of very high skill expression heroes being played, whether that's Tracer, Lucio, some hit scan heroes as well. So that's been really fun to watch, in my opinion, so far this season. But there we go with the patch. Now, we are going to go to the OWCS Korean rosters. But first, another piece of news that came out today was the broadcast details for the 2024 OWCS season. I know, Albert, that you have been talking about some of this on your stream previously. Not obviously this news item right here, but what the program has to entail, whether it's viewership rewards, for example, what orgs want from the program itself, and the likes, co-streaming, all that stuff. So, let me just get, what are your quick general thoughts as you're reading this today? You did put out a tweet, for example, where you praised some of the viewership incentives, but what are your kind of quick thoughts about the platforms we're streaming on and some of the opportunities for co-streams and the like this year?
I mean, I think the two big platforms, Twitch, YouTube, but also the co-streaming. You can, if you're a Kick streamer and you're big on Kick, like you can apply and co-stream. I think co-streams on any platform, right? Or no? Did I just make that up? I could have made that up.
I think you can co-stream on any platform. Yeah, here it says co-streaming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that any streaming platform, right?
Yeah.
So, but the broadcast will only be like the OWCS broadcast will only be on Twitch and YouTube, which is fine.
Yeah.
You can co-stream anywhere. I think that's big. I think in an open ecosystem, like you should have, it should be open, right? And I think what org owners are looking for, like people that are may not interested in investing immediately but want to wait and see, you need to have an open system that showcases like, hey, we can get like Overwatch is going to do numbers again on Twitch on as an esport, because the numbers haven't been super great on with YouTube exclusivity for the past few years. So I think this is they're doing the right things here. They're making the right decisions. I'm glad it's not YouTube exclusive or like in the past, and it seems like they're opening it up, which I think makes a lot of sense.
What about you, AVRL? I'm going to be a fellow co-streamer this year. We'll be seeing you do some co-streaming perhaps this year.
Yeah, I'll be the Asia guy for sure. It'll be on my time zone. I think that'll be my my area to do some co-streaming. So probably a lot more co-streaming this year than previous years. It's been a while since I've been like heavily streaming, so this might be the year that I'm gonna be doing more heavy streaming. For better or worse, fellas. So it'll be fun because I think usually when coverage goes out from content creator coverage, it's been very NA/EU focused. So hopefully I'll be one of the few that can bring Asia to more of the forefront on my end. So I'll be there for that. Yeah.
And here we take a look. We can see the Japanese, Korean, and Pacific schedule. As you can see here, the dates. we got this weekend coming actually. We're starting the 26th to the 29th, and you can see some of these dates. There are some broadcasts, if you take a look at the North American and the EMEA calendar, that won't be broadcast. And I mean, I suspect that these are like open qualifier dates. I should probably know this, by the way, but the open qualifier dates won't be broadcasted. So I guess in many ways this is very similar to the Flash Ops event that we saw in December, for example, where you had to kind of like follow who would qualify in the first place, and then there'll be a broadcast later on. And then, of course, you can see that the DreamHack dates are colored in too. But, you know, May looking really open. You got something coming in June here. June. That's the same. End of May, beginning of June. But so, yeah, there's definitely some co-streaming opportunities here. You'll see me on the grind as well. I'll be co-streaming as many matches as I can, whether it's open qualifier matches or whatever it is. So the schedule being part of it here as well. Now, they did promote some viewership incentives here as well for Stage 1 open qualifiers. You can see 26th to March 18th. There are some sprays, there are some icons, and some avatars available here. So what are your thoughts, Albert, when it comes to the viewership incentives? We did see last year, even on Twitch, the contenders, they utilized viewership incentives to a very successful degree. I believe it was a Genji skin or even a Mercy skin. I think it was a Mercy skin that saw the contender stream even bring to like 25,000 viewers because of viewership incentives. So here's a start. Is this enough? Are you excited about the viewership incentives, or do you think that there needs to be more to make this really like sustainable from a viewership incentive standpoint, but also for like organizations? Like if you're an organization, are you excited about this to kick things off this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think drops always increase. You know, I think it always increases viewership and viewership retention. I think that's great. I don't know if what's dropped, like if the hype of what's dropped actually matters as much as there's just drops and people like, you know, collecting, and, you know, why not? It's free, right? Like you just idle the stream. I do think, you know, hopefully they're saving the Mercy skins for the majors, right? Maybe, you know, for the crowdfunding,
That would be smart.
Yeah. Because that's, you know, obviously I would say my answer to anything drops related, could it be better? Yes, just needs to be a Mercy related item. And it'll be better. You'll get max viewership with anything Mercy related. So, but if they're saving it for the big ones, then I'm all good with whatever incentives they have here.
Yeah. They do have an OWCS Kiriko skin available if you've been watching 8 hours in the second campaign, which is March 18th to March 31st. Yeah, that won't stay on the schedule, but you know, they're already previewing some of the stuff that will be available later on. There you go. So just a quick little blog here. So, you know, if you want to apply for co-streaming, you can do so in the blog. There's a link there for you guys. When it comes to talent, guys, we don't know. We don't know. They don't know. While we aren't quite ready to share our talent lineup for OWCS today, you can keep an eye out for Overwatch Esports and Overwatch Esports Asia Challenge for future updates on our broadcast talent. So we don't know, but there you go.
We really don't know. We like legitimately don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know about these. I don't know.
I think Albert knows.
I'm out of the loop.
We don't know. We don't know. All right, there you go.
Albert's hosting the desk.
Albert's hosting the desk. There you go.
Listen, the desk needs a real hater. If the desk ever needs a real hater to be on the segment, I'm there.
If the desk needs a real hater. Look, I tried that once. It's not as fun as you think. All right. People.
Oh, no. I wake up every day to hate. I don't think you understand.
Depends on the team you hate on.
I'm a dedicated hater.
You give a couple of wrong hot takes out there, and it could be your downfall. It's scary out there. It's not like NBA Twitter. I promise you. It's not the same.
Johnny, the trick is you never walk back.
you never walk back.
You never show weakness. You always stand behind your hating.
All right. Yeah, I might have to. I might need some writers to help me out when it comes to making out my opinions in that regard. I know for a fact that AVRL is really good at bringing opinions, and so I might AVRL. If you have any spare leftover opinions, you know, pass one on to me. Maybe I can be a real hater one day. I don't know. Some like good pivoting.
What do
there.
you mean? I have good opinions that are very loving and very PMA. So,
exactly.
You know,
so if you have some non-PMA opinions, give them to Albert or me. I don't care.
Albert doesn't need any help in that regard. Albert's all good.
It's all in here. You know that It's in there. It's already in there. It's loaded. It's locked and loaded, you know?
It's locked and loaded. It's locked and loaded. All right, let's finally get into some of the rosters for OWCS Korea. So when we were planning this episode, and we're going to make a big deal about it, and we're going to have McGravy on, and we're going to do a 4-man podcast, I said, hey guys, let's do a roster mania episode, and we'll talk about the North American region, we'll talk about EMEA, we'll talk about Korea. But then I slowly realized that it doesn't make sense to do the 3 regions this week, because the actual roster lock doesn't come through until next week for North America and EMEA. So instead, we're here with one scuffed episode. We'll be talking about the Korean rosters, and then we'll do another episode next week when we talk about some of the North American rosters, like Toronto Defiant, for example. We'll talk about the European rosters like We Spitfire and I'll Spray Check, and all the rosters when they're locked in. So today, we'll mostly cover the Korean rosters, and there is no one better to have on than Albert Ye, because I've seen you on stream, buddy. You had every single free agent up there on the Google Excel sheet. You planned it out. You roster constructed. As we stand here today, I'm not going to put you on the spot, because by God, there are a lot of teams and a lot of players here. But just who do you think did a good job? Which of the players, which of the teams do you think did a good job and gave themselves a real opportunity here to win a ring at the end of this year? Who's put themselves in a position to succeed as we kick things off for 2024?
As a ring winner, who's going to win the ring?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is just...
first-hand experience.
This is the Hunger Games, right? Like, there's 2 slots. There's only 2 slots.
It's crazy.
Only 2 of these teams are going to qualify. And I think there's 2 very obvious front runners, I would say. On paper. On paper, there's 2 obvious front runners. In actuality, you know, like when they get in the server and they start duking it out, I'm not sure. But I would say Team Falcons, obvious. And WAC or WAC, however you want to. I think those.
I like WAC. I like WAC.
Yeah.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, Team Falcons and Team WAC. I feel like they're looking quite dangerous. They're looking quite dangerous out there.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these other teams could surprise, but I think the player quality at every position on paper is, you know, might not be as high. Yeah. So those are my initial thoughts. Like. But I think a lot of these rosters look very scary. And I think most of these rosters would be qualifying in other regions. So just really, really, really sucks that Korea, or not Korea, sorry. This is not the Korea region, but really sucks that the Asia
the Pacific region, or it is Asia region probably. Yeah, it's Asia region with Pacific, Japan, and Korea,
Yeah. But you're looking at the 2 from Asia is going to come from Korea. So that's why.
And as you said, one of them is Team Falcons, of course. I just really wanted to bring up this incredible Photoshop, of course. It is a must to bring up this picture right here. Where it's Sermajed and the boys. No one truly explained why Sermajed in this picture is 20% bigger than everybody else.
He's the team captain.
Team captain?
He's the head coach.
He's first.
He's the only Overwatch World Cup champion from last year on this roster.
Oh, that is true.
And has anyone else here on that team won the Overwatch World Cup? Did Hanbin win it? I don't think anyone else has won it, have they?
Now you're putting me on the spot.
The last time Korea won the Overwatch World Cup,
it would have to be 2017 and 2016, right? Yeah, I don't remember who was on the roster in 2017.
And
so
I don't think any of these guys
people were around
on the 2018, even the 2018.
Because even Smurf got his start when he was on the Houston Outlaws Academy, right? And then he was traded to San Francisco Shock. So
no, I don't think any of them around. No, because the Korea roster in 2018 is got guys like Flitter and Carpe and Fate on it.
So you're making a really big deal out of the fact that Sermajed is the only World Cup winner on his roster.
Ain't no other World Cup winners on this roster except Sermajed. That's actually the truth, as we've discovered right here in this moment.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But I do think that, you know, if we're being serious for a moment, this is obviously like the favorites to win the entire thing going into this one. It's Team Falcons, of course, with the Fielder, Chio backline with Sermajed joining them in the backline as well. Hanbin as your tank with Smurf and Proper and Stalker DPS. I
have a confession. Majed has been DMing me, telling me that he's playing. He's going to play. So I don't know if that's real. I don't know if that's, you know.
Well,
I don't know if that's
there was a leaked scrim.
He leaked screenshots of himself in the scrim.
guys, anyone can play in scrims. Scrims is for you know, scrims is whatever. It's when all the cards are on the table, like who are you playing, you know? Like that's what really matters. Scrims is for experimentation, you know? And you know that if you know anything about the coaching staff over there, they love to cook.
The coaching staff?
The coaching staff.
I don't know about the coaching staff.
Known cookers. Some may say, you know, hype abusers, perhaps, but known cookers is the rumored. So okay, I'll just say the rumored coaching staff for Falcons that I've heard is Krusty, Junkbug, and 9K. Like they assembled the Avengers.
Krusty, Junkbug, and 9K.
They assembled the Avengers over there, minus Rush. I don't know what happened to Rush because that's like, you know, that's a lot of EM on that team, but that'd be the only other Korean coach you could possibly add to complete the gauntlet of
Rush and Moon and KDG and 815 and Pajon and
Moon is with is on whack.
No, he should move over to Falcons as well. You got to build the Justice League over here. You got to build the entire DC universe. You got to build the entire, you know, the big ass round table and all the superheroes and the space station and the International Space Station looking over the Earth. So that's got to be it. I want 10 coaches on this team.
That's a crazy lineup, though. If you have those 3 coaches, that's unreal.
But that's almost seems like too many. Well, one might seem like too many because this team, I thought this was going to be the season, the year of like minimal coaching, because it seemed like very few teams wanted coaching, and maybe it's different for Falcons because it's an actual org, and Falcons have enough money that they can probably pay coaches. But for most other teams that are orgless, you really want to have a coach in your team who's going to potentially get a cut of your price pool. That's not a very attractive thing to have as a player. So, yeah, and I always had the feeling that this type of team with this many superstars probably would feel like a player-run team more than a team that would want to have a coach.
Okay, but I'll tell you what. Can you think of the last time an Overwatch team has won a world championship without a good coach?
Without a good coach?
Yes. Like they're just player-run. They just get it's like Lord of the Flies over there.
Okay, without throwing any specific people under the bus, this kind of counts. I will say Atlanta last year winning mid-season. By Gator's own admission, he didn't do that much coaching, right? Maybe Rascal was Rascal on the team by that stage. Was Rascal already there by mid-season? I can't remember.
It was Wizard Young all along.
Wizard Young was there.
So I don't know, but yeah, wasn't Atlanta last year like self-proclaimed to be a heavily player-led team? Were they not like a very heavily player-run team that had minimal coaching?
Are we counting mid-season madness as like a? You know?
I mean, it's close. Do you only count the championship at the end?
Yeah.
Like,
I can count mid-season madness. Yeah, winning a stage is not the same, but mid-season madness was a very big thing.
Stage. It's a full international. It's a LAN. You know, like it's the only thing comparable. You're gonna ask me like, I guess it's not a world championship, but it's like the closest thing to it.
Sure.
But I think the point still remains in that Atlanta Reign ultimately failed to adapt in the playoffs.
Let's say we count that. That's one team out of how many, you know, like I feel like if you're going to be a serious contender, you need a serious coaching staff or at least one, like a serious coach, right? I don't think you necessarily need to assemble 3 head coaches. Like that seems a bit ridiculous, especially in the current environment of Overwatch. But yeah, I think you do need one good coach at like minimum.
This is the one actual org in. Okay, there's Runaway too, but like, let's not try and pretend Runaway and Falcons are on the same level of budget here.
Respect Runner, all right? Put some respect on
I respect Runner, but I'm not. He ain't coming with any oil money. Is all I'm saying. So Falcons is the only like org that's got some like they got some money, right? Because even by reports, they were probably one of, if not the richest org in Saudi E-League as well, among even the Saudi teams. So this is like one of the teams.
I think they're the only big Saudi org, like in general, like international. Yeah, I took a look at some of the Saudi orgs. Like they're like quite like they got a significant presence, like international.
Yeah. So, yeah. Bro, if only you spoke Arabic, you could be the GM of this team.
I mean, isn't Simple playing for their John? Do you follow CS at all? Isn't Simple playing for Team Falcons?
No, I don't know. I read some like headline or something that like he was on loan or something.
He's on loan for like a month for Team.
Bro, is Simple the Ronaldo of esports or some shit? He's just gone to Saudi. He's like, you know what?
Oh, there you go.
I'm done with my football. I'm done with my football
Simple.
career.
Notable temporary stand-in. Simple.
Yeah.
He was a stand-in.
He literally just announced he was
spring
back.
2024. Yeah, so that's still now.
Yeah.
Wait. This team. We become a Counter-Strike podcast. This team has like matches.
Might as well.
It's got Zonic and it's got Zonic on this team. It's like actually kind of a serious team. I don't know some of the other players in this team because I don't follow CS.
Oh, these guys are good. No, Margus and Snappy. They had lots of success, didn't they, recently?
Yeah, I think he's talking about Matt. I think he's talking about the other two, the lesser known individuals like Madden and Sun Payas. Probably who he's talking about.
Anyone who randomly clicks on and just joins the pod at this stage, like, bro, this is Counter-Strike for real. This is some crazy stuff happening right now. But,
yeah, only real CS heads will appreciate this segment.
Yeah, so basically what this is Simple is like the Ronaldo of esports. And then you have someone who goes from Korea to NA, and he's like our Messi, right? He's just gone from Europe to the NA, right? He's just bought out by NA. He's just
what's going on with Checkmate?
It's all good.
Checkmate
is on a Saudi team.
He's on an EU. Well, he's competing on a Saudi E-League team that's also going to be in the EU region.
There you go.
I know this is not
Checkmate
the EU.
Sayaki.
I know this is not the EU episode, but are all the E-League teams going to be in OWCS as well? Do you know that?
It depends. You can check based on you need 3 Saudi nationals to be E-League eligible. And there's 2 there. Okay, so there's 2 rumored Saudi tournaments. I know it's going to get confusing because I feel like nobody's really gone over this, but there's an Esports World Cup, which is in Saudi, but it has other games besides Overwatch, but it does have Overwatch in it. That's one tournament. That there's no restriction on like you need this many Saudis on your team or Saudi players to qualify. The Saudi E-League is the one where you need 3. I think you need 3 Saudi like starters at any given point to have a Saudi E-League like eligible roster.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. It's
a Plat Chat exclusive, fellas.
No, it's actually not. He actually talked about this on Uncoachable. So we're late on this. Don't Uncoachable did first.
Nobody watches Uncoachable. Nobody watches Uncoachable. You heard it here first.
Dude's dropping heat on other podcasts. Come on, fella.
Yeah, dude, we're like the last. Dude, Albert was on like Tactical Crouch or something. We're like the 3rd podcast in the Overwatch space alone. He's on.
I've been doing my podcast world tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uncoachable heads, they're only there for the quiz, guys. Everyone knows that. Everyone goes to the quiz. Nobody's actually watching the quiz.
I'm actually so fucking jealous of the quiz. I'm not gonna lie. I was like literally out running errands and shit. And I was
You had a whole episode that was just the quiz.
True.
The quiz.
But that was different. All right, that was different. But I am so fucking invested. I don't care. Okay, look, I'm so invested in the Uncoachable quiz that every time I listen to the fucking episodes and they do the quiz, I just like get invested and I'm just like, no, this is the answer. Like they were doing some episodes in like December or something. I don't recall which one, and it was just like polling, just like who played like the most matches in the Overwatch League or something, or like who something like along that vein. Or like so one of the answers was like Sumin Su from Vancouver Titans or something. Oh, I like highest win rate in the Overwatch League. And I just like shouted at myself like in the airport like a psycho because I was so invested in the Uncoachable quiz. So yeah. But if you want to know more about the Esports World Cup in Overwatch, go check out that episode. I haven't listened to it myself, but Albert talked about it.
I figured out if they ever run out of drama to talk about, they could just be a full quiz show.
I know you were an early Florida Mayhem. You're Schiller.
Go on.
There's a chance here. Go back to the Wikipedia. So I was talking to Gumba recently, and he said that Rock Esports roster that Checkmate's on is actually like sneaky good. So you have a chance here to invest. You have a chance here to invest at an incredibly early. This is like the most hipster.
It's like an IPO.
Yeah, this is a new coin.
This is
new shit coin just dropped.
This is like fresh goop, like fresh Gumba goop. This roster is sneaky good.
Okay, how do you want me to invest?
I don't know. I'm just saying. This is
Who
not
am I sending money?
I am simply, I'm simply just telling you that, I'm just speaking this into existence here. This
is like when Albert's he's part of some like secret Discord trading group, and he's posting some new goop on Diamond
edit this out.
It's a pump and dump.
Diamond Hands for the first time. It's like, guys, I got a secret leak from my goop master inside my private Discord. But this new coin, ROC coin, it's gonna pop off.
You
in
can
the next 2
invest
months.
in this NFT, in this new freaking team. You know, you can invest in this NFT, and you can be, you know, I don't know if
I
you're
mean,
gonna be
I can see it. Rojo Checkmate is a good deal. Rojo's like the next quartz, right? So this could be. I know this is not the EU episode. This is gonna all have to be talked about again on the EU episode. But I can see this team being sneaky good.
Okay, Gumba thinks they have a good chance of winning Saudi E League. I don't know about. Obviously, he has a team in EU, so like Gumba's a little biased, but I mean.
Yeah,
winning.
but no, I have no doubt in my mind that you know, following the win by Saudi Arabia in the World Cup as well, that it's actually going to be a bit of a kind of like a I'm blanking on the word, but like it's going to help the scene grow. Like it's going to be like a trickle down effect where you have a team like Twisted Minds, for example, that is undoubtedly good at the game. You have players like Quartz who are undoubtedly like really good players, right? And that's going to be a trickle down effect to the point where, like, you know, this happens in scrims all the time. For example, like Rogue went to Korea. It's like they went to Korea, like they got to practice with the best people all the time, right? And if you're a team and you get to practice with Twisted Minds, for example, it's going to bring up all the other teams in the region. It's going to bring up all this amazing individual talent, right, that get to practice against the very best. So I have no doubt in my mind that along the line, there'll probably be some like hidden gems and some new names we'll see in the Saudi League that we weren't necessarily familiar with before. So I think that's just like how practice and, you know, kind of works in general across any sport. That like if you get to practice against really good opponents, that's going to help you get better. So if that's the Gunba juice, then I'm all ears.
You're drinking it?
Well, you know, when you put it that way, it doesn't sound that appetizing. But yes, like I'll consider it.
Okay.
I'm open to it.
With how many tournaments Saudi is having? I mean, the new meme is going to be they went to Saudi Arabia. Like they're not going to Korea anymore. They're going to Saudi Arabia. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. They got a lot of stuff going on there. You know, they got Saudi E-League. They got to play in OWCS, and there's going to be the Esports World Cup player this year, apparently. So. It seems like there's a lot going on here. A lot of tournaments, a lot of competition going on. But that's
speaking about going to Korea, guys. Speaking about going to Korea.
Okay.
They went to Korea.
Should we finish the Korean rosters because there's a few in there?
Yeah, we pretty much got stuck at Team Falcons. Yeah.
I gotta sink my teeth into. We got into Team Falcons, and then we won an entire Saudi tangent, and we went all the way to Saudi E League. But yeah, but there is actually last thing about the Saudi stuff. I believe Twisted Minds are in Korea doing a boot camp right now because that's where the
I've heard that too. Yeah,
scrim leaked from because they're actually all in Korea.
Twisted Minds went to Korea.
Is Majed in Korea right now?
Yes. Also, Quartz is in Korea apparently. I don't know why Quartz is in Korea.
Well, because he's on Twisted Minds and all the Twisted Minds are in Korea.
Oh, Twisted Minds is also boot camp. Okay. Okay.
What do you mean also? Yeah, I mean,
Team Falcons, Twisted Minds. Yeah.
No, I just didn't know. I didn't know Twisted Minds was boot camping. Like that's
No, the whole team is currently boot camping in Korea, but I didn't know if Majed was also in Korea or not because obviously the Falcons is all Korean minus him. So
yes.
So he's staying.
He's gonna get playtime apparently.
They're competing in Korea. Yeah.
There you go.
Because if Majed is gonna play for this team, I guess he should stay in Korea, right? So that would make the most sense.
Listen, he's DM'd me. He said he's playing. He said he's getting. You know, he's gonna play. He told me
he's actually got to show up on stage because there's gonna be some LAN games and stuff.
I mean, can we just say this as well? Like we're obviously making fun of the fact that Sir Majed is on Team Falcons, but like he's not a bad player. Like he's an Overwatch League good flex support player, right? It's just the fact that he's from Saudi Arabia and he's playing with 6 Korean players, which is pretty unusual.
I don't think it's the nationality. It's like he's behind one of the GOAT flex supports. Like, you know, like, is there going to be a double? Like, I don't see him playing unless it's a double flex meta. Like, I don't know. Like, unless you're telling me, like, Krusty's saying, like, okay, Krusty's saying, like, Majed's going to play over Fielder. Like, is that what we're talking about? Like, I don't know. Or they're cooking up some special comps just so they can roll out, like,
how about this? How about this? Are there heroes that Majed is legitimately better than Fielder on? Probably Alari. Right? I don't know how good Fields Alari is.
Sure, Alari,
You'd probably say that most of Fielder's heroes are better than Majed's, but if there are specific picks that Majed is legitimately better on, then you could actually see him play over Fielder, but most likely he'll play over Chio if there's a double flex situation.
Right.
Yeah. And so I guess the only question here would be that I think it is reasonable to expect, or most people expected, a Korean flex support to be picked up alongside the rest of this roster, but instead it's Sermojed, and so we'll probably see Sermojed being played if it's a double flex support meta, whereas in Atlanta Reign that wasn't the case a lot of the time.
I thought this Team Hamster, now Falcons, was the reason why I say Hamster is because when they were still Hamster,
with
my
Fearless,
impression
right?
was yeah, and we'll talk about that change to Smurf as well. I had the impression, this is just a gut feeling, they were going to keep the roster lean, no coach, because they had no coach during the Flash Ops run. People forget, but this is technically speaking, a defending champion team because they won the last Korea tournament, and OWCS is following the same format as Flash Ops because lo and behold, Flash Ops was actually a trial for OWCS in terms of format. And they kept a very lean roster, and that makes sense for a player-led team going into a prize pool favored season where you want your roster to be lean so that everyone gets a higher cut of the prize pool, of which that's the majority of the way you're going to earn money. But with the fact that they have actual backing from an org now, maybe that changes. And obviously, Majed would never be on this team if it wasn't for Team Falcons for several reasons, because of Saudi connection. But more importantly, I also just think this team, when they were Hamster, probably wouldn't have gotten a second flex support unless they truly thought double flex was going to be a major thing, and they lacked confidence in Chio picking up whatever hero he needed to pick up to make that happen. It would make way more sense for these teams to be like these 5-man rosters, like a Runaway, even though Runaway is technically an org, but it's more like a mom and pop corner shop, small business kind of org versus the mega corporation Falcons kind of money. So yeah, that's my position on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I tweeted about it. I think if you had to pick, because it's like, okay, I get it. They want a Saudi player. It's a Saudi org. I mean, I don't know what the details were, but just like on paper, it would make more sense for Quartz to be on the roster and potentially playing a hit scan.
That's right.
I think that makes more sense than, a double. That's more likely than like a double flex, especially now with the patch and like Chio's, like probably the best Lucio in the world. I think not crazy to say that at all. And Lucio's, one of the best support heroes right now, and like probably a must pick, I think. So I just don't. I struggle to see with Lucio being like having such a high pick rate, like where Majed is gonna find the playtime. I know he leaked some scrim. I don't know what he was on. I didn't.
He was on Zen.
Well, I mean, what was the backline comp? It was Zen what? It was just double flex.
I can't remember. It was Zen something. I have to find the screenshot has been like leaked and then buried because he also deleted the tweet, I believe. So
well, nothing's
I'd have
ever
to find
deleted
it
from the
again.
internet.
Yeah, I can find it.
It might have been like
somewhere.
San Lucio, to be honest with you. But
really,
well,
okay.
Look, I'm guessing, okay, but if I recall, it was in the midst of like the Wrecking Ball Tracer kind of compositions where a lot of teams did play Lucio Sen to start this season, but obviously that's shifted towards Lucio Kiriko and stuff like that. So it might have been even old to begin with, but yeah, I've seen some teams play Senana as well. So there's a few options there, but I kind of want to move on here from Team Falcons. I guess one quick kind of question here, since I know you tweeted about it, Albert, where do you kind of like stand on Proper's career path? Being more of a hit scan kind of around player or playing more projectile? What would you like to see from him?
So on paper, he should be able to do both. I think my only concern was like seeing the issues they had last year with having like some idea with he's saying like, okay, let's like, I have no problems with the idea. It's just like, okay, Proper going in. They have 2 flex DPS, right? They have 2 flex DPS players. And
sorry.
Yeah, no, all good. And then I think your dog is a fan of Proper because he's, he was not happy.
Or really not a fan of Proper, I can't tell.
But
flex DPS? No.
But Proper on hit scan, like I think there's some legs there potentially. I just think if you look at last year, it didn't turn out that well. They had issues integrating Heesang and Proper together. And when Heesang was on a different team, he worked a lot better with like Sugar for another flex DPS. So it's like I don't know if Proper on hit scan, I don't know if we're gonna see the same thing again this year. But it's like when your Team Falcons, like you don't need to take that risk. You can just get Quartz instead of and solve your problem there. Like you have a dedicated hit scan player. If Proper works out on hit scan, great. You just the same thing. You play 5 Koreans, move on with your day. If not, Quartz is there. Quartz can play the dedicated hit scan. Proper's on flex. Like I just think if I'm building the roster and I have unlimited resources, why not deploy those resources in the best way?
So, update. I did in fact find the screenshot of the Majid Zen. It was Zen Anna with Fielder and Majid at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
With
so
the
double
Diva.
flex.
So Diva double flex. That's an old composition
Okay.
from 2022. That's what was being played. And I think the reason why Majid leaked that screenshot is because he pounded. He had like
Of course.
top near top damage of the lobby as Zen or some shit like that. So
Yeah.
Al
Zens tend to do that. What? By the way, like when an owl team or there's no owl anymore, but in the past when like an owl team has put out the Zen, like that Zen is doing numbers. You need to do numbers on Zen because your healing's not that great. So you need to be really putting out the damage to get value.
Posting screenshots from scrims. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Can I just bring up the Smurf Fearless situation because I think that's worth talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the favorite to win the entire thing this year, right? So I don't mind spending extra time on this team if you want to discuss the roster at all.
I think Fearless might have retired because he was looking for NAEU. By his own admission, he is trying to delay military by another year. This might have been what RuPaul was leading towards when we talked with him on the episode about the Fearless situation. But yeah, like maybe he couldn't find a team on NAEU, and he can't play on a Korean roster because of military, and this just might be a Fearless retirement year by the looks of it. Has Fearless officially announced retirement? I think he said something about not being able to find a team. So yeah, Smurf has come in, and what an insane replacement. Like if there was going to be anybody that could come in the Korea side anyway, that could at least try and match the Winston, but then like Albert says, also then has the hero pool to round out the weaknesses that Fearless had in terms of his own hero pool. Smurf probably is actually an upgrade if you want more flexibility.
I mean,
so
they got he's basically Hanbin, but for main tank. He's like a main tank that covers all the main tanks, and then Hanbin's an off tank that covers all the off tanks. And so like I think they upgrade in terms of flexibility.
I think they cover each other's hero pool a little bit as well, which is really cool.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
sucks for Fearless, but like as a former roster builder, I'm like, okay, I like that was a cook, you know, they cooked there.
This is like a legitimate fantasy roster. This is the roster.
It's unbelievable.
I think Kusaurus would have liked to have cooked up in his, you know, if there was a Steam game called Overwatch Esports Manager 2024, like a FIFA Manager or something, and
they were called Soul Defiant.
And it's like you're the only coach that exists in the world currently on an Overwatch League team called the Toronto Defiant. You're like, this is the roster, but then you realize there's import restrictions. You're like, damn it.
I want a hard hit scan. I still would really want like put Lip on this team. Done fucking deal. You know, like, you know, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see roster. 8 people on the roster.
Yeah, we'll see. Proper hit scan. You know, Electric Boogaloo 2. Like that's what's happening this year. You know, like we're seeing it again. Let's see what happens this time around. Maybe it works out.
I'll say this much. Proper has the mechanics for hit scan, but obviously the team around him last year did not make that happen. Also, quote unquote hit scan last year. What was hit scan last year? It was Tracer Sombra. That's not really a hit scan.
No.
A true hit scan
was it I saw a little bit of Widowmaker, some Ashe. Am I wrong?
There was some Cass in the beginning, and then it got nerfed, and then it became Sombra Tracer. But as Sombra Tracer haters over here at the Mayhem, we tried our absolute hardest to not play anything Sombra. I think
what I'm saying is Proper didn't have like an actual run at playing like an actual season of hit scan.
Sure.
And
that's fair.
I'm gonna be the guy that brings up contenders right now, but it's relevant because that's
a relic of the past.
Those are the seasons where, I know, right? Those are the seasons where you actually saw a full year worth of Proper hit scan. And so what I'm saying is I've seen him perform mechanically on hit scan, including I brought the story up multiple times, and this is I'll bring it up less as we go on because it'll become less relevant in the future. But Merit is generally, you know, people will say, Albert would probably agree, Merit top hit scan in the world. There were seasons in contenders where Merit was on the opposite team of Proper, and Proper was not only matching but outperforming Merit head to head on hit scan pure mechanics. Proper has the actual mechanics.
I will say I think Merit's upgraded since I think he's gotten better.
That's true. Merit has gotten better.
I think Merit, if he's shooting like the way he was shooting, you know, on Mayhem in contenders, like it'd be a different story. Because I think Merit was more like, okay, he was like a known, like, oh, he's a Widow one trick. Like, like, I don't know if he can play any other heroes. And then he kind of his reputation is now like, okay, he's like the best hit scan in the world. Like him or Lip, right? One of the two, or.
I saw Merit on all the hit scans and contenders, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he didn't.
I'm saying his reputation. His reputation. I'm not saying, being a reputation, like having a certain reputation and then playing other heroes in your matches doesn't mean, like. But anyways, it's whatever. Yes. I agree. Proper was amazing on hit scan and contenders. I'm just saying, like, if I had unlimited resources, like, I feel like I would be obligated to, like, let's deploy this to, I'm all about, like, risk management, like, let's manage the potential risk. This could work out great, like, we can just look back and like, okay, well, Proper was always, like, the GOAT hit scan, too. And it's like, okay, well, my bad, but, yeah.
Are there any free agents that Falcons could snipe if we actually got into a real hit scan meta and Falcons lost confidence in Lip?
What is WAC? WAC is not an org, right? Like, WAC is
just... Are you allowed to just like snipe a player from another active team? I don't know. Like
just snipe them, just take them.
Okay.
That's probably what's going to happen, right, Albert? Is that like as long as like OWCS goes on, the strong will get stronger, right?
Rich get richer.
If you have backing in an organization, you'll be able to pick up players that don't have an org.
Yeah, I mean, same thing happened in OWL, right? Like generally, like, the more money you deploy, the higher quality your roster gets, and you can just, especially like WAC, like, if they don't find an org, like, do they stay as a team? Do they break? Do they start getting poached? And
exactly, the difference being, unlike in the Overwatch League, there's no buyout from WAC. You're just like,
they're not getting paid right now. So like, if Lip's like, if fucking the Avengers coaching staff on Falcons like, oh, we have this brilliant idea, Lip, like, why don't you come over and be our starting hit scan? Like, Lip's gonna be like, oh, hell yeah, like, let me.
Oh, dude, and I got one more idea. And then they can also bring Donghag over from Yeti, because that's not a real org. And then you can play Lip, Stalker, Donghag, Geofielder again.
I don't think Donghag want to play with those guys again. That's just a gut feel. I think.
Or you can import. I mean, they have another import slot. What if you imported Hawk as well? Thoughts?
Whoa. Oh my god!
Wow, get the whole gang back together,
dude. Hawk doesn't have a team right now. He could absolutely be imported on this team, bro. Oh, dude, and we totally forgot. You talk about coaching Avengers.
Add Gator to the holy. Dude, we are cooking. We're cooking
the Justice League of coaches is not complete without Gator on this team. Come on, Gator, Wizard, Young, and Rascal. Get them all on here. Get them all on here.
Bad result. You just trot out Gator, and he'll soak up all the hate for you. He'll soak up all the hate, and then the people in like the real decision makers in the back are just like, well, we'll just sit here and keep cooking.
And then when Falcons comes 8th at the Overwatch Championship at the end of the year, because they ran it back to the Atlanta roster, despite Proper being benched for Lip, because it's Lip Stalker again, all the fans will find a reason to hate on Proper and blame him, despite him not even playing the game.
He was too good at the game. It was benched because he was too good at the game. We're running back with the Custa narrative. That's where we're at right now. All right, let's move on from.
Moon's on the he's on the Justice League coaching.
Oh yeah,
staff,
yeah. Moon is on WAC.
Let's talk. Let me talk about WAC real quick. I think I've covered. Unless anyone else has any.
All right, I want to kick off the question though. I want to set you up for this one as well. Okay.
All right, sure.
Where are we at in 2024 with the Max Junbin tank line? Where do we stand? Is it a mental reset? Are we just like 2023 was a mistake? Where are we at? How are we rating this tank line? Is it like full of potential still? How are we feeling about this tank line?
I have always looked at the Max Junbin duo as like the little bros to Hanbin Fearless. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm a Fearless with the original, like here the GOAT tank line, and Max Junbin with a little bro tank line compared to that, which is actually that's probably a compliment if anything if we think about that. But I think they had a bit of a redemption arc in Flash Ops where they came second with O2 High School. You clearly saw the mechanics in there. Max looked absolutely solid. I think at various stages in last year's season as well, Jimin had a few good shining moments, but Shock overall as a roster really suffered. I think once you see all of these young rookie Koreans back in Korea, they really improved a lot. I think the fact that they get to be back in Korea and familiar territory does help them a lot with a full... Well, they had a full Korean team, but just not being on that Shock team. I think that Shock team was just cursed for some reason. Individually, everyone should have been fine, but as a team, didn't work out. I think Max Junbin with a much better support line is going to make a huge difference. Unfortunately, Vindime Finn was just not it last year. That support line did not do Shock any favors. Churong Shu, completely different story. I think especially with Shu on the team, you as a tank, you're going to have a night and day difference in your performance. Jimbin on this team is actually a very nice addition in terms of what his specialist characteristics bring to the table in terms of his hero pool, because there are two particular players on this entire Korea region, because we're looking at specifically Korea, not all of Asia at the moment. Out of all the tanks in this entire lineup of all 9 teams, only 2 of them have this very specialist skill, and Albert knows what the skill is. It's called, he knows how to bowl. This guy knows
I
how
thought you were gonna
to
go
bowl.
somewhere else.
Where were you gonna go? I don't know, but I was talking
I thought you were
about
gonna whip out the Baptiste lore.
No. Well, you can bring that up. You can bring up the BAP lore, but why? What? I'm talking about Jimbin. What does BAP got to do with Jimbin? I don't know.
He played BAP in the Overwatch League.
Yeah. They did that swap. You remember?
Why would he ever play BAP over Shu?
No. It'd be over Churong. It'd be a double flex with Max at the off tank.
There you go.
Okay, that's not bad lore. That actually legitimately could. I don't know. Was he actually?
To be fair, the Baptiste was a little bit low on the iceberg meme.
It was terrible. It was absolutely horrid.
Yeah, okay. Well, I get to the memes at the end of the roster. That's why I didn't bring in the memes about Falcons until the end. So I only shit talked Falcons at the end. Anyway, Jimbin and Bellassari are the only 2 guys out of all of the tanks here that actually know how to bowl.
Yeah,
you can play ball, but then it's like, do you actually know how to bowl? And Jimbin and Bellassari, Ballassari from the gamer team with Burner, these guys know how to bowl. And I think Ball is a really good hero on season 9, and I don't know what he's going to look like in future. In the leaked scrim screenshot, I'll even just give it to you, Johnny, and maybe you can just, if you feel like it, bring it up on the broadcast. But
I can do this one thing for you.
Jimbin, you don't have to. I'm just like jesting. Jimbin was playing Ball here, and I think like a Ball dive could legitimately be good. Because Ball is good on this patch. He doesn't have a head. He doesn't have a head, so you can't headshot him. Doesn't really... Who cares about projectile size changes when he doesn't have a head? No head. No head at all. So, I could see it. I could see, if a Ball meta arrives, that's the one area that Smurf Hanbin can't really do much about. And Jimbin comes in and performs on the hero. Max is a guy that can catch up to Hanbin. So... yeah, that's where I feel on the tank line. You asked about the tank line. That's my position tank line. But otherwise, they're little bros. Otherwise,
don't want to read into the screenshot here too much, AVRL. But it does seem like it's not going too well here for the guys on ball. Just gonna say that it's looking a bit rough for Whack here.
Well, that's why. Just
looking at the death counter. That's why Mached leaked the
screenshot, because he's gonna leak the screenshot where he's absolutely pounding.
Yeah. True. It is Sir Mached screenshot. Yeah, he's going to pick the one moment where he has the best stats. Yeah. I don't know how old the screenshot actually is, but I do think it's just hilarious how the APAC meta just like caters to all like these dives and Zenyatta, Genji Tracer, and within a few days, we Spitfire and Spray Check. They were just like, no. Especially our Spray Check playing a lot of like Diva, Lucio Moira, and we Spitfire. They play a lot of Lucio Kiriko, Winston recently, as I've seen. So they play some dive, to be fair. But Zenyatta being used in some other regions. So maybe this is old news. Maybe they moved on. I don't know. But it was fun nonetheless.
This is Blizzard World too. So I mean, I don't know. Is Ball like crazy on Blizzard World? I feel like
it's
maybe
an okay map for Ball.
Huh?
It's an okay map.
Yeah, it's not like Ball is it, like, real ball knowers, like they're playing Ball on Blizzard World.
Yeah. We'll get to Runaway later, but when I looked at their Runaway SPG VODs, they like hard mirrored Doomfist, Lucio Kiriko, Trace Rico. Like they didn't swap a single hero throughout the single series. So that was all about Doomfist. So they probably moved on from this. But in your point in general, AVRL, having a Ball player is quite valuable, so it could be beneficial down the line.
It's the one leg up they have, but aside from that, they are not as good of a tank line, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to cover when it comes to Whack? Obviously, you have Lip Hisang. Like you could really go into detail here. You got Churong Shu. Like this is a really stacked roster.
Sure.
Maybe you could speak to some of Hisang's performances of Vancouver Titans, but otherwise,
Lip is obviously going to be the better hit scan and an actual hit scan compared to Proper Stalker. Hisang, unfortunately, is going to be a little bro to Proper Stalker the entire way through. Like He's the third best player in that lineup of 3 flex supports and flex DPS. Unfortunately, he's still good, but just compared to proper Stalker, it's just not gonna be the same.
I think Whack was close to like a legitimate, like to be a legitimate competitor to Falcons. They just needed like combine with Runaway. I think I would take a few pieces from Runaway and mash them together with Whack, and then you create.
What you're saying is they needed Quartz.
Falcons?
Or Whack? Whack. No way. You're just. I'm making.
We do a little bit of trolling.
Yeah, no. Lip. You know, I'm taking Lip. I'm holding my Lip stocks. Quartz is next up, but I'm holding my Lip stocks for now. Like I'm holding strong here.
I think that's a good bet. I think that's a good bet.
Max, okay. I would love Max to prove me wrong, but like I just am not. I don't know. Max had one of like the biggest busts. Like he might have been one of the biggest, like the most overhyped tank going into like and being like the most disappointing.
No, that would have been Mag in 2021. Actually, that would.
You think Mag was a bigger disappointment? I feel like
Mag was praised by many to be Rookie of the Year. Yeah,
I can tell you he was more disappointing because he was most people's pick for Rookie of the Year in 2021, including me.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree.
And when I say pick for Rookie of the Year, I mean like early pick, preseason pick.
He's the biggest like bust since Mag then, but I think Mag's redeemed himself.
Yeah, Mag is a really respectable tank.
Mag is a really solid tank.
As a former Mag hater, Lord knows I've done some Plat Chat episodes where I've talked shit about the Washington Justice and Mag's role on those Plat rosters. But Mag, he's really respectable and a great tank player. So he's definitely an asset to a lot of different teams, for sure. It's a really good tank player.
When you say merge, runaway, Whack, would you rather have Zest or he's saying?
Zest.
Was that what you were referring to when you talked about a merge?
I honestly
Vigilante, Elite Dragon. It's a stacked team.
Like you'd rather have Mag? Is that what you're about to say?
I think I would strongly consider having Mag and then not having Junbin and Max. Just Mag is like the tank.
Only Mag?
Only Mag.
He doesn't have
we're
any
subscribing to only Mag.
He doesn't have
We're getting Zesty and we're subscribing to only Mag. That's what we're doing.
Oh my god, only Mags. Only Mag subscription.
Zesty and only Mag.
Before we get to Runaway, I would just say the Chorong Shu backline does compete with Cheerfielder. If there is one backline combo that I think competes with Cheerfielder, it's Chorong Shu. But the difference here is that Cheerfielder have like years of synergy built up, and Chorong Shu, this is like their first time playing together.
Oh, they'll figure that out. They'll figure that out on the way.
They will, but they're playing catch up to a duo that has several years.
Chorong's really good if he's in a system that lets him flex. So I don't know if that's just like who's on the coaching staff. It's Moon and who?
It's Moon, yeah.
Pavane.
Oh, Pavane. Okay, I mean Pavane needs to stoke up the old creative fires and like has he done any Overwatch 2 coaching? Like I'm not sure. This might be his first Overwatch 2 like team, right?
He was part of Shanghai Dragons in 2022. So that was the first Overwatch 2 season, yeah.
Okay, so he did do some Overwatch 2 coaching. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was not the Flera Shanghai Dragons though. That was the that was the one that bombed out of playoffs, if I remember correctly.
That was the one that was the last team that they had the championship roster together for.
Yeah, they lost to Shock in the 2022 playoffs. They lost really early.
Yeah, because I know he's been on the Valorant grind for a bit, and now he's back.
Oh, he's doing the Gumba run back. You go to Valorant, you come back, you win a championship. Boom.
Oh, okay. You're saying he's got the plot armor.
He's got the Gumba plot armor. Yeah.
I'm curious. Speak more to Chorong really excels in a system where he can flex.
Yeah, so he played a lot of. He's good. Like he's like a Swiss Army knife of like he's a main support, but he has legitimate like flex support like as a secondary flex support. He's legitimate like secondary flex support. Capabilities. Like we played him a lot on. We played like him on Kiri. We played him on Anna. Yeah, I mean, I think we did we play him on BAP? I think the only thing we didn't really play him on was Zen. But other than that, like I think he's pretty flexible and he can play on more than just like he can swap. He can play a swap meta, right? Right now, I think maybe it's just Lucio, or I mean, I think he was on Brig for the screenshot. But yeah, I think he really excels when he can swap around. And I think if you wanted just a hard main support, you would just pick Chio, right? Like you need like just a traditional main support. Like we need the best like Brig, we need the best like Lucio, like sure, like go for Chio every time, right? But like for Chorong, it's like if you need someone that can play a bunch of heroes and like enable you to play more comps and counter comp people more effectively, I think, that's where Charong really shines. I would say like him and like Violet, Violet obviously because he's a former flex support, right? Are the two most flexible like main supports right now.
That's interesting. So when you looked at Runaway, I was like, well, what if you add Vigilante as a third support?
You could, yeah. That's just if you're getting greedy. But Whack is a they don't have an org,
Yeah.
So can't really add. Hey, you want to be our 6th player? Like you can't really say that to someone.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move over to Runaway then, because it's a really easy transition. So Mag playing the main tank. Obviously, first of all, amazing to see Runaway back in the scene. Runner supporting this team, of course. So many people are excited about Runaway being back. You've seen the hype on Twitter. So that's really refreshing. And bringing back some of these players. You got the backline of Vigilante and Legion gone really strong. Mag playing the tank with Zest and Prophet making a return, trying to regain some of that reputation lost perhaps when he was in Soul Dynasty and didn't have too much success outside of the Widowmaker play. I looked through.
You gotta be specific. Audio listeners are confused right now because there's 2 prophets. We're talking about Lil P right now.
I think I did a pretty good job saying Prophet.
Talking Prophet.
No. No, I'm not doing that. Now that Big P is retired, we'll talk about that. Okay. There's just gonna be a prophet now. There's no Fet thing going on. There's only one prophet now because the other one retired. So we made this really easy. But yes, sorry. I just wanted to interject because the audio listeners might have been confused.
Yeah, and I guess I did watch the Runaway matches between Runaway and SPG primarily because I thought that was a pretty good matchup. I figured that'd be good. It was a 4-map series and I reviewed all of it. Not super intense review by any means, but I looked at what they were playing and talked through the match. And Prophet had a good echo. So if you were worried about the Widowmaker one-trick allegations, Prophet is actively trying to beat them in this composition right here. Is it going to be on the same level as other damage players? I'm not going to go that far, but it looks like a pretty good roster nonetheless. So they're definitely competing for that top 3 spot. Top 4, I don't know. It's going to be tough because there's a really good rosters here. But how do we feel like gut check about Runaway? Are they missing something? Or do you feel like it's a pretty good, versatile, all-around roster?
They're missing an off-tank or just anybody who is an off-tank hero pool. Because that's my criticism of Mag. Is like, can Mag hang on a main tank position? Probably. He doesn't have off-tank capability. Like, or if he does, he hasn't fucking shown it. Because the problem is, you look at Soul Inferno last year in playoffs, like Mag on this team, they only ran stuff that Mag could play because he just couldn't play. He had the least amount of flexibility across the tanks in that playoffs, I feel. And then you look at Runaway again in Flash Up's career. So this is the actual second time we've seen Runaway in recent history. This is the I don't know if this is like the official return, whereas the other Runaway team in Flash Ups was more like a homage team because that was the one with the Yaki and Hisu as well and Gangnam Jin. Whereas this time they're like, hey, let's do Runaway seriously with Runner in there. Lee Jagon and Mag are like, we'll run this back and we'll rebuild the roster with us and then some other good pieces around us. That's cool. But unless Mag can start to bring in some of the other... like, what are you going to do on Circuit Royale? Mag ain't playing Sigma. Mag is doing the same thing Albert's going to do in Circuit Royale. It's like, I ain't locking the Sigma because I'm going to get gapped in this matchup. This is going to be the biggest Sigma gap of your life. He's going to run Zarya.
He's going to... like Albert. It's time to play the London comp, baby. It's time to play London comp. You're playing May, you're playing Sim, you're playing Ryan. Why not?
Oh, shit.
You want this team to play London comp?
Mag can play Ryan. Mag can
play Ryan, sure, but putting pressure on the other guys here.
Is it optimal to play in? This is going to be the London Spitfire of Korea. Is that what's going on? Like,
well, I mean, they haven't. I'm saying they don't have to be London because London's not scrimming that region, and they haven't seen. You're unlocking new tech essentially. You're introducing like a new weapon of war.
Dude, Christopher should.
Reinhardt is so
team.
fucking bad in this patch, guys. Like, I've been watching some scrims. The only 2 tanks I've seen play Reinhardt are Vistola, and I saw Dante play Reinhardt yesterday. It was atrocious. It's such a bad hero. It is terrible.
They didn't even sub Cloudy into play.
No,
Ryan,
they did. No, apparently. So apparently, I haven't asked Gunba what the deal with this is, but apparently Vistola sometimes just like picks fun heroes towards the end of scrim blocks. That's my working theory.
Okay.
And so the last map, you see the Maga come out, you see the Reinhardt come out, Vistola gets a little crazy with it. So that's my working theory. Nothing of this is confirmed. I don't know the reason, but the Reinhardt is not good, guys.
You don't want none of that. Otherwise, Spray Check's gonna be finding some of those third blocks coming their way. You know what I'm saying?
Cloud is on vacation, guys.
Some of those block threes coming in. Yeah, look, that's my biggest problem with the Runaway team is their lack of flexibility on the off tank position. Other than that, I think the team is generally fine. I actually made a tweet about this Runaway roster to basically say that the two weak points are going to be Mag and Prophet, given that Prophet's fine, but he does need to beat the Widowmaker allegations, and you're saying that he's starting to do that. I don't know how his Echo looked because I didn't get to watch that scrim, so maybe you could tell me if it was actually good or not. But even beyond that, like the other concern is even on pure hit scans, he's not like anywhere near elite enough on the hit scans to in my opinion, even compete with guys like Proud and Probe on Pokerface, which we'll talk about in a hot second. But he's not competing with Lip. I think I can't remember when Decay last played hit scan, but Decay has the capability to like bring out some nasty stuff on that.
Yeah, I mean Decay is great.
So Prophet.
It's been so long since Decay's played hit scan. You're like, I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I can't remember
Decay's been a flex DPS for a while on the teams that he's been on. But Prophet. The other problem is if we run into any meta that's Tracer +1 and the +1 ends up being a flex DPS like Echo, if it's Tracer Echo, Runaway could be in trouble if Prophet can't step up on some of these other heroes. Because unfortunately, you just want two Zests on this team. You want another Zest who can play both those heroes. Because Zest is your best Tracer, he's your best Echo, and Prophet's not particularly good on either of those two heroes. That's only one example.
What if they got MN3? No, I'm kidding.
MN3 has gone to Valorant, so there's a huge list of actually missing Korean OWL players, and MN3 is one of them, and I believe he went to Valorant. So
some guys made the leap. They saw Carpe dive in, and they were like, yo.
MN3 really is like Carpe Lil Bro. He's following Carpe's career trajectory like 1-for-1. It's actually insane.
Yeah. Look, when it comes to Prophet, these compositions, especially as we're watching some of Prophet's Echo gameplay, it's you can play a pretty safe style, and SPG is by no means like, you know, a top team in this region. It's not like playing any of the elite Echoes.
I'll say SPG are probably bottom 2 here, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I'm not really into Prophet's performance on Echo that much. And you can hedge pretty safely. You don't have to go for these big plays. You're pretty much relying on your Doomfist primarily to make space for you. And then you as Echo, you just utilize that space to get a lot of damage in. Nice focusing beam and what are the fucking bombs called? You shoot out?
Sticky bombs.
Yeah.
Sticky bombs.
Yeah, I'm a professional, by the way.
Runaway is in a dangerous position in this entire group of 9 teams. Because top 3 is the cutoff to get the LAN for Asia, and the top 2 from the LAN is cut off to go to a major. So first step is getting top 3. They're competing against probably, in my opinion, Pokerface for a top 3, and it's not guaranteed that they're going to get that top 3 because Pokerface has some heavy hitters on that team as well. And then you have like teams like From the Gamer who have Violet and like there's a lot of competition for that top 3.
Okay.
Runaway could easily miss out on that if they just hit a bad meta if Prophet and Mag can't compete.
Albert, can you talk to me about Peppy? I have no visibility on who Peppy the Pig, Peppa the Pig, Peppy the Tank is.
Sir, excuse me?
Who's Peppy the Tank? He's got to be a GOAT if he's the only tank on this. They got like backups at every position except for tank. Are
we ready to move on to Pokerface? Because I'll talk about that when we.
Yeah, I mean this episode is already dragging on, so I'm fine.
Okay.
You know, just
last thing is unless Albert wants to jump in about last thing is Lee Jago on Vigilante legitimately good. That's a very good backline. So
that's a W. I mean that's a extremely aggressive. Like if you know anything about their playstyle, obviously everyone knows Lee Jagon's playstyle, but Vigilante is also an extremely aggressive, like flex support. Like he's a fragger. So
that's what I've been told. Yeah, and also
that backline's getting active.
It's an org. They can I don't know how much money Runner is spending on his org, but if you wanted to go like Prophet, sorry bud, we're getting a 3rd damage player. Runaway is very much in a position to do so. I am
Lip is right there. Lip is right there.
you just poach whack.
Guys, the Runaway it's a family run org. Okay, this is like if Falcons is the McDonald's of the world, Runaway is the corner takeout store run by mom and pop. Is the difference in org size. So it's an org, but like how much of an org really is?
Yeah, I mean I
love Runaway, but fuck me,
that is one of the reasons why Runaway was so loved, right? It's because it was an underdog. It was an underdog story.
Real quotation mark org is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised to see something different. All right, do you want to move on to Pokerface?
Yeah.
I'll just quickly run through the roster for audio listeners as well. So for damage on Poker Face, we got Probe, Proud, Finale, and Spectra. We got Faith, Simple, and Iris in the backline, and then Peppy. I'm just gonna call him Peppy. Okay, it's his nickname. I'm just calling him Peppy. That's it.
He's the new Piggy. The name's so close. It is so close. Same hero pool as well. He's fine.
What?
The issue.
A Piggy hero pool?
A Piggy. Yeah. Okay. No, without the Winston, Piggy actually had that. Anyway, Piggy's gone. Forget about it.
It's Peppy.
I do have some concerns about the tank line. Peppy is not. He's not an outstanding player from what I've seen in the history.
Oh.
He's going to need to level up big time, and he's the only tank. And he's a traditional off tank, which means he has the opposite problem of Mag, and they don't have like. Previously, Pokerface had Muse on this team as well. I think Muse might have quietly retired because he's just gone. So it used to be Muse and Peppy, and so they could round out each other's hero pools. Now it's just Peppy solo, which really is going to be maybe a bit painful unless Peppy is somehow step the fuck up.
So he's not the GOAT. He's not the GOAT. He's just
his
all
best hero. His best hero is probably Sigma. But like, how many Sigma maps are you going to get here? How many? I can't even remember what the map pool is. It's there's one Circuit Royale, and then that's it. So it's I'm not saying he's a Sigma one trick, but it's like that's the one hero I look at Peppy, I'm like, oh, it's kind of impressive. And the rest of it, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Like it's just fine. He's a fine player, but he's not outstanding. He's not. I would rather have Kalios on this team. Real talk is what I'm saying. Kalios is on one of the other teams, but everyone else in this team is pretty solid. Before I hand it off to Albert here, I will say the one player that people probably don't know much about, they will learn about, is actually an insane play. Is this guy called Proud? When I watched his POV in Contenders,
I know about Proud. Yeah.
I bet you do because you actually do real scouting.
Thanks.
A lot of GMs and a lot of that was. I don't know. Did you take offense, Johnny? That wasn't meant. That wasn't directed.
No, I'm just. Yeah. Okay, we don't. Yeah.
Most people in most AL teams probably don't scout that hard, or not hard enough. But Proud obviously wouldn't make the Overwatch League because he was too young. If there was another Overwatch League season, this guy is a shoo-in because he's kind of like that knife level, young player that's kind of unknown that sort of just surprises you. Like he's like the hit scan version of Knife is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Proud's POV on the hit scan is nasty. Like this guy is actually legitimately good. 4 DPS is kind of overkill. I don't know what the deal with 4 DPS on this team is, but they essentially have like 3 hit scans and Spectra is their flex DPS. I think really know Finale flex DPS as well. So 2 hit scans, 2 flex DPS.
I don't really know what Probe and I don't know. Probe just seems like odd as like a like odd man out on this lineup.
He always plays on huge DPS lines up. He does this all the time. He's always like the 4th man DPS. Like I don't get it.
Like Blue Mountain State, he's like the backup. He's like the backup QB. He's just like always the backup. He's just chilling.
So Zoe, which is maybe that's how you pronounce it. Zoe is the it's us coach here. I think it's the general manager.
Okay.
Oh, it's us coach actually.
No. Daphne looks like the manager.
Daphne's the manager. Yeah. And it's been so since September, and Peppy has been part of the roster since last March. So Peppy is a carryover player from Poker Face.
Okay.
From last year. Also, just quick note: there's alternate ID Christopher. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if there's some secret coaching going on here, but
his first contended season. Look at where he played. In the achievement.
In Australia.
Boom.
On Wilby.
He started his career in Contenders Australia.
Okay. In terms of like Overwatch players scouting red flags, starting your career in Australia as a Korean player is like that's like red flag central for me. Like,
are you serious? Spectra started his career in fucking Australia.
Okay, I'm not saying there aren't exceptions.
Opener, another classic.
I'm just saying it's usually a red flag, you know? That's a knock on the resume for sure.
Usually a red flag.
While we're doing some off-topic stuff here as well, I do just want to take a moment to quickly head over to the Japanese region and give a quick shout out to never mind. Head over to the Pacific region and give a quick shout to Adam, who's on Honeypot.
Oh shit! Wait, Honeypot's they're still going, huh?
Yeah, they're still going. They got some players from Singapore. It's a good mix of players, but Adam still going strong over here.
Wow, he still got in
the
that
Pacific region.
Profile picture.
That's the only official photo he's got.
Is Light? Is that the streamer? Isn't Light like a collegiate player? Is that someone else?
University of California, Irvine. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got way too much random Overwatch.
World Cup 2023, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what it is about us, but sometimes just going down the rabbit hole on Wikipedia is the funniest shit. You can end up in some really entertaining. Just like
my favorite is when I end up on a bio that's clearly written by the player, and like it's a player that like nobody actually like reads their Wikipedia page. It's just super detailed. It's like trivia. There's like trivia questions for the player. It's like why? Like who's reading this shit? Like this, yeah. McGravy's page. One of the most. Gravy didn't write this himself. Like someone did this on his behalf.
Oh, someone did. Okay, good. Okay, yeah. I'm really glad you knew that because I did not know that.
No,
so
Caleb
someone did write this.
Caleb did not sit here and format his own like history. Someone like I think some fan or some mod, somebody did it. Like some super fan did this for him.
That's amazing. I'm borderline jealous.
After this
and you can do it yourself, guys. You can do if you're on Wikipedia, you can edit yourself. Johnny, you can write like a sonnet about yourself and put it on the bio. Like they'll let you do that.
Albert, for you, what I'm gonna do after this episode is I'm gonna go into ChatGPT and ask it to write a 2,000-word bio for you and put it on Wikipedia.
Okay. See, I've already edited I was way ahead of the curve, guys. I was editing my Wikipedia page since I was in tier 3. You know, it's got my like people are like, why does it got your sends on there? It's like, oh, I put that in there.
I am not a retired Swedish caster. I am still available for hire, guys. Don't believe Wikipedia. I'm not retired.
So it should say is a Swedish caster and retired tank. You can actually log in and edit that yourself right now, and it'll
I'm gonna have to check out Wikipedia.
That's why it's funny when people are like, guys, it's not a Wikipedia. I'm like, Wikipedia is like literally like Wikipedia is like, and you could actually use the Wikipedia as a source most time because like you can't just edit stuff on Wikipedia like that. You can literally just do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. I think obviously they're super strict on like certain pages when it comes to like the real deal Wikipedia, but like Wikipedia and Overwatch, you can you can go and have a blast.
It's a free for all. It's you can do whatever you want. You can.
I mean, it's okay. Anyway, but yes, back to Korea, fellas.
Yep.
Here we are.
Back to Korea.
Guys, I can't believe we're still going to be here for another 4 hours discussing Japan and Pacific afterwards.
Sorry, it's not happening. We'll do a separate episode talking about the Japanese region.
The Japanese viewers are going to be extremely disappointed in you, Johnny.
Where's the Japanese org?
I'm sorry.
The Shoes Japanese org. What happened to that?
Is there org called AVRL?
Yeah, there's an org called AVRL.
Yeah, right. they're the best one, right? Yeah. See, no, I got the knowledge. All right.
I'm talking about the Lip and Shoot. Didn't Lip and Shoot get a Japanese org like rumor? What happened?
That was I was the one that heard that rumor. Clearly, it did not come to fruition. Clearly, it has not.
Fucking Albert Halo Yay over here just
off-season was crazy.
Just fucking lying.
I did not say they had. I said they were potentially tied, and it was 2 players. Like you can't be 2 players. Can't you got to have a full team, right? Like, guys, it's just rumors.
All right.
Anyway,
where are we going next here?
We gotta
like up the pace a little bit. All right, I'm getting hungry as fuck.
Does anyone have anything else to say about Poker Face? Good.
No, I mean, I just didn't know who
Simple
Pepe the
Tank
Tank was. That's all.
Pepe the Tank.
Okay.
Now that I've heard, I think we wasted our time. I thought he could have been an up and comer, the next ham, but he's just not.
Guys should just come out and play Roadhog on stream. Should just be a Roadhog one trick pony on stream. That's all I'm saying.
Great. What a
Pepe
name.
the Pig.
There we go.
That's what. Now that I know he's a hog player, like it's Pepe the Pig for me.
No. He's okay. I don't know if he hot plays hog or not.
All right.
This segment plays.
The obvious next team that I think or actually, it might be a tie. There's 2 really good teams here on this page that I want to jump to next that we can spend a little bit of time on. To just kind of like go down the line. The first one I'm going to bring up is Genesis, which is the damage line of Decay, Choice One, who I'm really high on. I'm really excited for this damage line. But also Kellan and Kalios as your tank, Tiru, and drumroll Maka, which is good.
What happened? What happened to my boy?
Because we got Albert here.
Who's playing main? Is Terror playing main support? Is Maka playing main
Overwatch League champion Maka for you guys? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
did he get a ring? Did Maka get a ring? Yes, no.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone got a ring. Who you got a ring, guys? Everyone.
There you fucking go. He's a fucking ring champion player. Boom.
It's not even on Wikipedia page. Wow. Someone fix this. Anyway, all right. Give us the rundown here. Why should people be excited about Maka on this team? That's what I want to hear.
I don't know. He's a flex support player. Terra's a flex support player.
Know.
This is a double flex support backline right now. Did Maka switch to main support? I don't know. I don't have the inside.
The best breakdowns in competitive Overwatch, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, please find out what's happening on this roster. I don't know. On paper, this seems someone is playing main support here. I don't know who. Either one, it's probably a bad choice. You know, they're both native flex support players with no, or I mean, not even native. Teru's a former DPS player turned flex support player. Now maybe he's switching to main support and Maka's playing flex support. I have no idea. Maybe Teru's like, okay, I'm getting old. It's time to become a main support player. Like all flex support players. When they get old, they just become main support players.
No disrespect.
Bro, aren't these guys like 18? Like, what do you mean? Are they old?
I mean, you got Kalios on here. He's 25. He's ancient at this point.
No. I'm saying Maka would be the flex support because he's younger. And then Teru's taking the hit as the vet and becoming the main support.
That makes sense. And also, as
he's doing the custom.
A vet at age 21. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but you know, people do be aging like that in Overwatch.
It's like that amazing tweet. It's just like, here comes the old guard, the esports veteran, age 24.
At 21 years old, the veteran. He's got to play main support. It's terrible.
What's the age cutoff that Gumma control A's and deletes all the applications? Like 21, control A, delete all the 21-year-olds. Like 18 to 20 only. Well, I can't remember.
If they're not like just eligible or like they're, you know, like 1 year removed, it's like it's over. You know, it's like if you're 19 or like he also didn't like if you played on a lot of teams. Like if you went to your Wikipedia and it was like just a bazillion teams in like a short time, like a prospect that's just on a billion contenders teams that have done nothing. Like he really, you know, that was a big red flag for him.
I no disrespect. If you polled me on these 9 teams and were like, which team has the lowest odds when it comes to will be making player changes or someone will leave the team, someone will retire or move to like Saudi League, I think Genesis has the lowest odds. Someone on this roster is going to leave within like 3 weeks.
Oh, you mean like someone's gonna Cali's gonna mental boom and just be over?
Highest chance of someone leaving, I think Genesis has the
I can tell you, it's because they have the terrorists on the team. So he's gonna be terrorizing the entire team. And that's gonna be it.
He hasn't been on that many teams. You know, he had a stint on Vancouver Titans when he played May or something.
Like, I think every team he's been on, he's had a bad reputation on that team. So,
hey, didn't he pop off on Hangzhou Spark?
I'm not talking about his player mechanics or ability. I'm talking about his reputation as a player.
His locker room behavior.
Oh, the locker room behavior. Oh, I didn't even know this. Okay, all right. Maybe there's something there. My sources, which is Custa, says it's pretty fun to play with in ranked. So.
Some of the worst people I know are great to play with in ranked. Some of the worst people I know are great to play with in ranked.
Yeah, someone put that on the Terrorist Wikipedia page. Great to play with in ranked. Sources.
That's a testimonial.
Testimonial. Yeah.
Awesome rank teammate.
Fun. Yeah. Not awesome, but fun. Maybe to tone back the skill part of it, just like fun to duo with or something like that. There we go. Anyway,
I can say that Decay Choi is a legitimately good DPS line.
Yes.
Although I haven't seen Decay on Hitscan in a while. So
Decay's back on Hitscan, baby. Get the word out. Proper's on Hitscan now. Proper's on Hitscan and Decay's on Hitscan now. He's back.
So the play was just like to remove any long range hit scan on the roster so that Decay can't be like, I don't want to play a long range hit scan. Like now you're technically forced to play long range hit scan. So. I'm looking forward to this.
Depending on the meta. Depends on the meta, but yeah.
I think Decay got tired of playing Genji and not being able to play like his other heroes, so they're like, okay.
I low-key think he just want a Tracer one trick. And he's like, can people play the heroes besides Tracer?
Does he play Tracer over Choicy One? I'm not sure.
That's a good question, actually. I didn't even think about that. That's a good question, actually.
Easy answer, actually.
I would assume so. Yeah, I would assume that Choicy One, despite being a good Tracer, is the flex player.
Can I just say most of these rosters have a pretty insane flex DPS, like at least one pretty insane flex DPS on every roster, almost. Yeah. Aside from maybe like two rosters. It is really nice to have 2 Tracer players, though. You know, so you have one that can cater to Tracer when you have a hit scan and Tracer when you have a projectile. So it's useful.
Having Tracer overlap is extremely important. With historically how important having a Tracer.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm glad we spent a little bit of time on one team and not forever on one team, but there you go, Genesis. One of the more volatile teams, perhaps, out of the mix. And the other next obvious team to bring up, I do have to think is from the Gamer, with the damage line of Flora and Alfie, the tank duo of Belos Ria and Bernard, and the backline of Violet and Finn. Another contender for that final third spot to qualify for the Asia LAN. So, do we think they're top 3, or do we think they're like outside the mix? Where do we stand on this, AVRL? Give me your rating.
It's from the Gamer. Yeah, they're fighting for top 3. I think it's between them, Pokerface, Runaway. I would say Genesis is maybe slightly outside that conversation, but these are the 3 teams fighting for that 3rd position. I just think, I don't know, like the Tiro market situation doesn't bring me enough confidence. I think
Pepe situation does not bring me confidence.
Yeah, but the rest of the lineup around Pokerface is like, oh, it's just solid. You know, I'm like,
okay.
They got Spectrum there who's solid. They got the backline is solid. They have enough surely out of the 4 DPSs, you find 2 good ones in there.
The problem with Overwatch is you just need one weak link. You just need Vindame feeding every single fight, and it does not matter what.
That's why he doesn't have a team. Vindame is
that's
not
what I'm saying.
on
But
any
I'm saying, like,
roster
if Pepe the Pig is legitimately that weak, it will not matter.
I don't know if he's that weak. I'm just saying he's not standout. I'm just saying he's not like he's not. But then again, like, you know, he might have a huge year. He might be the new Dong hack, for better or worse. That might be.
Well, then I blame you, because I knew nothing about this player. You tarnished his reputation.
I'm just saying, bro,
and then you threw him under the bus, and so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going with that.
Did not look good in contenders either, and then he got put onto the GOAT roster with 4 insane players, and obviously he looked good after that. Maybe Pepe can be in the same situation where he's just surrounded by insane players, and then he just levels the fuck up. Like, that could happen as well. He could have the Dong Act treatment, not in the bad way, fellas. Unless
is Pepe the Korean Hawk? Learn more. OWCS.
Okay, but we were talking about from the Gamer. I feel like the player quality on here is not super impressive. That's my initial reaction. I think Finn is like, at this stage in his career, I mean, I think right now, I think he's one of the
Finn at this stage of his career?
Yeah, I was like, wait, he has a very long career.
3 years, 2 years.
I feel like his performance last year was, I don't know, he
barely saw playtime.
He really fell off last year. We saw Junbin Bap.
He got benched for Lukemino and Renko.
Guys, come on, we got Junbin Bap, and we had Renko brought in. Like, Renko was playing Ana over Finn. Like, we
saw some Zenyatta, but that was about it, I think.
Yeah. Violet, obviously, dope issues with that. Violet, great player quality. Alfie, you know, top flex DPS for sure. And then we start getting to like Flora. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not really. You know, I don't think Floor is that good in you know, good enough to be like. I think if your hit scans Floor, I don't think they have enough firepower to contend for like a top 3 position.
And he doesn't overlap, and I think you want, like you talked about Tracer overlap. You need some of that. You need at least a little bit. At least Lip can Tracer overlap with Heesang to some degree. Floor Alpha is just not going to have that at all. And all the good teams will have some level of Tracer overlap.
And then I've got concerns about the Belos Ria. I mean, we got Yaki as a coach here. Like,
Yaki as a coach.
What are we cooking over here?
Yaki and Neko.
Neko, sure, I'll allow it. Neko makes sense. Yaki, I don't know what.
Yaki will be their emergency DPS when they realize they need 2 Tracer plays.
Okay, maybe. Okay, perhaps. Maybe Neko comes back in. Maybe Neko comes back in, plays main support. Violet's back on flex support. Thoughts?
There you go.
Player coach.
Yeah, when Finn booms and he's like, guys, I can't play any heroes this year. My hero pool is just Zenyatta. I'm sorry.
Belos Ria, I need to see more. I need to see more on the other tanks. You know, he knows ball. I'm not sure he knows much else right now. Like,
he knows Ball and Orisa. Ball and Orisa is 2 heroes. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, give him that. That's just 2.
And then, I mean, he's just the worst Junbin in my head. Like, I think Junbin has a pretty, like, he's pretty decent at, like, some of the other heroes. But, like, Belos Ria, I legitimately think, I'm like, Ball, sure, we give him Orisa. But, like, who can't play Orisa? Everyone can play Orisa. So, I don't know. And Bernard, I mean, Bernard's fine. But at the end of the day, Bernard's just he's an off-tank player, right?
We're
like,
applying the Gunba concept here.
Yeah.
Bernard has the most insane, like, I'll just come into Houston and come second in the Overwatch League. Just, like, you know, fuck it. Just drops in. And just instantly gets a silver in the
drops in playoffs. Sigma meta copies the Mayhem strategy, just plays Sigma perma with Bastion and you know, copycats their way to second, and you know, Hey,
So
that was great.
I think I mean, you're essentially betting because of the Flora and Alpha E synergy. You're kind of hoping that this is a Washington Justice, but better from last year, without the French ingredients on the roster, like FD God and stuff like that, right?
But French cooking is like really good, so like
French cooking is really good, yes, but
minus no French ingredients.
And French Overwatch is, relatively speaking, pretty good as well. But the Korean Overwatch is better throughout Overwatch history.
Are you just giving the other Western players in Washington a pass outside the French?
No, I'm just applying an analogy here, where Flora and Alpha E was the damage line of Washington Justice last year, and now this damage line from Washington Justice is playing with a different tank line, a different support line. A support line that features the GOAT of all time, Violet, and Finn.
Well, I would have thought Alfie would have been tired of carrying the DPS load, from last, like, I felt like he was doing
I think this is a good sign though, no? Is it not a good sign if you're like, or actually it could be a bad sign that you're like Flora's like, hey Alpha, you wanna play together? You wanna join a team together? And Alfie's like, alright, I'll play with Flora. I don't know.
You gotta break some eggs to make an omelet, You need to break your DPS partner, line sometimes.
I know this as an egg. As a former egg, yeah. I know this.
You know what would have been the funniest team? Is if instead of Flora, they had Choice one on this team, and then both Choi and Alpha is like, I guess we're just both having to carry it. Because they're both players that are just like perma carrying their teams. Maybe less so Alfie because his Hangzhou, he had Shy and he had Gushui and shit on the team, but like last year, Alfie for sure. But I got a question for you, Albert. Would you rather, as the official GM of WAC, you're the team builder for WAC, would you pick Heesang or Alpha Yi out of those two?
Fuck. I mean, that is so I think that would depend on current form. Because low-key, I saw a few Alpha Yi streams recently. That boy is rusty. Like, I don't know how much Overwatch he's been playing, but like,
it's beta Yi now.
Wow.
Yeah, he but when he was an Al, like 100% Alpha Yi. Like, no question, I'm picking Alpha Yi. Now, I mean, I don't know. I think I would need to take a look at current forms and be like, does Alpha Yi still have it? Or is he just like old man, like his back is broken, like he does not care anymore? He's just doing this for fun. Like,
bro, the French broke him that badly. Spends 1 year in France. He just comes back wounded. Like, what's going on?
Albert, I love you, bro. I have the most utmost respect for you and your knowledge. But that was such a Plat Chat take of just like, I watched his stream recently and he seemed rusty. That is like straight out of like Plat Chat off season 2020, 2021 or something.
I see a red flag. I go and confirm it. I'm just saying my initial thoughts are I need to do some research, Yeah. But gun to my head, who would I bet on? I'd probably bet on Alpha Yi. But I'm just saying, like, if I was to actually be the GM, I would be doing some heavy research. I'd be asking people. I'd be like, hey, like, has Alpha Yi been shooting you in ranked, or has he been looking like a little sus recently? And I'm like, asking.
Is that part of your scouting? Do you watch people's streams and of them playing ranked?
Absolutely. So okay, so I'll give you an example. When we were, we trialed Ham and Kellen. This was back when Kellen was like coming off of like Runaway was like really good, right? Like everyone's like, or wait, what team did Kellen play for?
Talon.
Sorry, Talon. EM and then Talon. Talon was like really good. Everyone's like, oh, Kellen's like this next up. He's like the best tank prospect. Like I would say.
God, we keep falling for these tanks.
Yeah, I looked at Kellen's stream. I was like, ooh, like I mechanically, like I feel like Ham's like much better, and like
he knows ball.
Turned out to be the case. Yeah, I think there is such a thing as an eye test, right? So
he does not know ball. I can confirm.
Yeah.
It is stupid how that works, but I know what you're saying, Albert. Like sometimes you'll just watch someone's POV and you'll just be like, the way they move their crosshair, the way they're like navigating the defense side, it's just like little ball. Fun? Yeah. I will say in this, AVRL.
Pro tip: if you're not feeling it, if you're in a slump as a pro player and you want to get, do not turn on the stream. Do not show anyone that you're like any potential of being washed, because like someone sees that and they're like, you develop a reputation, like like only show or delete the VOD. Delete the VOD after you're like, oh shit, let's fucking delete the VOD. Like just get that out of there so like nobody can clip it or anything.
Now in season 9, just this past week, I went 1-14 in one streak, and I just turned off the stream, and I was like, "This is bad. Like my career could die here now." Like I got demoted to Diamond 5, and I was like, "Holy shit, it might be over, guys."
No, see, if you're gonna be bad, be the best at being bad. Like Shanghai Dragons,
Diamond
you will
one,
get
sorry.
fans. You will get fans. Being the worst is always good. You know, being the Vancouver, getting the breadsticks meme, being the Pistons is good. It's good.
Guys,
Like, it might suck, but like, yeah.
Viper had an entire Rookie of the Year campaign off of being the best player on a bad team. Think about that. That's what you can do. That you can be the best player on the worst team and just have a trajectory off that. And I think Alpha Yi had a lot of the same reputation by being the best player on a bad team. So,
AVRL, can I give you some career advice here on the episode as we're recording, and we're kind of like falling into delirious right here. I kickstarted this thing just a couple of days ago, which is Scrim co-streaming. You should really go on that train for the Korea region. Imagine you should just do Korean Scrim co-streams. You know, pick up fucking Duolingo, learn some Korean, and just be like, "Yo, guys, can I spec, please? I stream." And you know, they'll fucking love that. Imagine you can be the go-to Korean Scrim co-streamer.
The thing about scrims is, why would a team want to leak their own scrim unless they are benefiting it? So the team would have to see some sort of benefit from them giving me access to a scrim.
Well,
otherwise they're just leaking strats for no reason.
The We Spitfire and Spray Check guys, they just like, do whatever you want. So I mean, they love it. But
they are streaming their own scrims anyway, so it's already out there in the world. Like Funny Ash is streaming already.
Okay, here's what you do: you put together a deck. And on the deck, you just go like, I have many potential buyers, okay? Let me build your reputation. I won't technically be your agent, but I will bolster your reputation in the Western region. So when the North American teams, they scramble and they lose faith and they panic, that's when they go to me and I promote your name. So give me Scrim access and I will plug your names to the Western audience.
The Korean players, the Korean teams, the Korean coaches are way more guarded about scrims than anyone else. I feel like the Western teams, especially because they're
the tides are turning, AVRL. You got to be a trendsetter.
In tune with streaming. Like they got way more people on their teams willing to stream. You can look at these 9 teams in the Korea region right now, and you can count like on one hand how many of these guys regularly stream, if any of them.
Okay, who do we think you could ask? Maybe Neko would give you access. I don't think Team Falcon's giving you access. Ho Chi Lee, I don't know. Maybe Moon's probably not giving you access.
Wait, Ho Chi could. Wait, Fate is wait, what the?
Yeah, Fate and Fleta, they're coaching Yeti.
What the hell is going on here?
Ho Chi Lee.
I just got a Fate jump scare.
The people I know,
the people I know,
are like Ho Chi Lee I know, and the Falcons coaches I know. So maybe they're. Aside from that, it's pretty fucking hard. So. It's
Runner would maybe give you access.
Actually, Runaway might, because Runner's streaming them anyway.
No, Runner would make you. No, Runner would make you pay for the privilege of co-streaming.
Would he? Oh fuck.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Runner, one of the best negotiators of all time, I would say. One of the best negotiators of all time. Like,
I was thinking about that the other day.
Where it's like, hey, sell this pen to me. That's literally Runner. Like, I swear, he's like, he could sell you anything.
Holy shit. I need to learn sales from this guy. That's my next. I'm gonna get into sales. It's my next career, and Runner's gonna teach me sales because this guy, he cleaned Vancouver Titans org out. He opened those coffers up.
He cleaned us out too.
He cleaned you out as well.
He cleaned Ben out. Actually, Ben, honestly, I got a great deal. I got a great deal. Ben cleaned himself out. He cleaned Ben out. We lost Lee Jae Gon, and we paid about the same price for 2 players as we would have gotten 3 players for.
Holy shit. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll say this. Runner, great salesman, not a good spender. He gets all this money, he spends it on a League of Legends team that goes nowhere, and unlucky there.
Now he's back. Round 2.
I was thinking about that the other day because I was rewatching some Profit VODs the day he retired. Yep. And I was just like, it was so insane that Apex Season 4, you had GC Busan against the Runaway, the 2 best teams in the world at the time, in the biggest tournament before the Overwatch League, and Runaway just weren't part of Overwatch League Season 1. I was like, what happened there? Like, how did these boys not get picked up?
Okay, but real quick, GC Busan almost didn't get picked up as well, until Jack Katine said, I'll take them all.
Yeah, he was like, I'll get 2 teams.
He went to the buffet and just picked up a second whole last team.
The problem is, I think with most inaugural seasons, there's a lot of people that like don't deserve, like, that aren't the optimal pick for the position, and it takes a while for them to get filtered out. I think you saw the same thing in like Valorant, for example. Like, there's some people that shouldn't be there, either players or like people making decisions, and then eventually, like, when they're, oh shit, like this league is very competitive, like you got to take it more seriously, right? And then you start making some change.
Yeah.
So I think I mean, you could have built a team that won the Overwatch League season 1 from the free agents. I swear, like you could have built like an Overwatch League.
Yeah, because all of Runaway were free agents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about like Architect was a free agent. Choi Bin was a free agent. I mean, they got signed mid-season, but I'm saying like those were free agent pickups. Moth was a free agent, and like there were so many players that were free agents that should have been in the league.
And now everyone's a free agent this year, which is why you get teams like Falcons that are just scooping them all up.
To be fair, I feel like if Falcons was a franchise team, like I feel like their team would also look fairly similar. If there were franchises.
Yeah. All right.
If the contracts lined up and everyone's contracts cleared at the same time and all that, and the plus ones didn't get anyway. Yeah. Yeti? Should we do Yeti?
Yeah, I was about to head there. I don't know at what point. Like, what is the cutoff for a podcast? Like, how long can a podcast be? But it goes from like a podcast episode to we just posted a VOD of us just chatting shit. Like, how do
we got 3 more teams. We're almost done.
We're almost done.
Let me say this. There's not much to say about the last 2 teams.
Yeah.
So most of the time we spent now of the remaining time on Yeti, and the last 2 teams they exist.
By the way, I'm like washed. By the way, because the old Plat Chat episodes were like 3.5 hours, and so like we're like halfway to that point. So I'm washed in that regard. But I'm trying to keep these like at the most 2 hours. So we're here at 2:15 mark. We got 3 more teams to go. Yeti, coached by no other than Fate and Fleta. Fleta, the amazing tank player. We got Knife and Viper as your damage duo. Dongyak as your tank, and Bliss and Irony in your backline. I kind of like the look of this team. I kind of like this. I think they're a sleeper.
Viper, crazy Tracer, like actually like,
and Genji.
I think Seeker subbed for us in a like a preseason scrim last year, and he said the funniest. We were scrimming Viper or Shanghai at the time. They had Viper. He called Viper the stick. He's like, Viper is just the stickiest player. He was sticking him like on CD. He was sticking Seeker like on CD, and he called him the stickiest. So
yes, dude. I called out some of his stick percentage statistics during the season, and I think he ended one map with something like 80%. Yeah, 80% pulse bomb stick rate after was it a map or series? Can't remember. But I gave him a nickname in the middle. I called him Pulse Bomb Prince or some shit like that because he was just killing so many motherfuckers with Pulse Bomb. He was getting so many sticks. Pulse Bomb Prince, he was pounding. This is part of the reason why he had a rookie the PvP. I know where Johnny's off season's heading.
Help! No.
He had an entire Rookie of the Year campaign off of just being this insane player on a team that was so bad.
Well, okay, what happened to hit scans in this career when in the region? What happened to having hit scans? This is another double flex.
Well, Poker Face decided to take them all on their team, so that's why no one else got a hit scan. Poker Face needs to give some other teams hit scans, is what I'm saying, and then you'll have more hit scans.
Falcons did everyone a favor by having 2 flex DPS already, so like there should be another, there's some hit scans to go around, surely.
A bunch of them like just disappeared and retired. Like MN3's gone, right? There's no Easy Han, he's gone. Edison's gone. Well, I don't know how many people. Fitz had to go to military, I think.
Yeah.
Happy. Well, I don't know what happened to Happy, but he's gone.
Oh, that's
Birdring's
true. Happy.
Gone. I don't know what happened to Birdring. He doesn't have a team. There's no Hisu. Hisu actually was kind of good last year. I think he's still got.
I would take Hisu in a second. I mean, there's no hit scans in this region anymore.
Dude, if Birdring comes back, it's like fucking 39-year-old LeBron James. Just like, I got one more in me.
This fuckery cannot last much longer.
2024 Birdring arc. Ain't no way.
Okay, interesting DPS line here. I don't know how this is gonna work. This just seems like, who's playing Hitscan? I'm not sure who's playing Tracer. I mean, I've had a really good Tracer. They both had really good Tracers last year. Knife, small sample size. Small sample size, but he had some very impressive moments on Tracer for sure.
Yeah. It's I mean, I usually give the teams the benefit of the doubt. Like I trust in the scouting process or like the buddying process. Like one of these guys, very obviously, just like I'll play the projectile heroes. Is that going to last? I don't know.
I think Knife plays the scan. That's my gut feeling. Knife does it.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because like I've seen him flex to hit scan more often than I haven't seen Viper flex to hit scan at all. I've seen Knife at least do it a couple times.
Yeah, I've seen Knife on like Sojourn, right? He played like Sojourn for a bit. I mean, it didn't look.
I've seen Knife on like a cast. He's done a tiny bit of flexing, but these guys do not have. Neither of them have the kind of history that Decay and Prop have on hit scan. Where like these guys have legitimate seasons playing hit scan. None of them have that. Knife and Viper. There's the problem. I'll tell you what. This team is missing. They nearly have their own Justice League of coaches. They just don't have Bebe. They need Fate, Flitter, and Baby, and then it's complete.
They need a flex. I mean, Irony's a flex sport, but like, I don't know. Is there no one like? Is there no one else? Is there no one else that they could have gotten?
There are so many people, Albert. So many people.
I know, but like, why? Okay, it just seems weird. Knife, Viper, whatever. I mean, get a hit scan, guys. Like it's.
You want to talk about missing flex supports? Where's Twilight? Where is Creative?
Twilight's going to military.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Twilight's gone.
Who else? You have Larsson and Babel. MCD actually filled for a team. MCD was filling
he filled for the watch team. Rija Hong was in a car accident, so MCD had to fill in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Rija Hong had to be in the hospital. Apparently, it was. I can't remember the summary, but apparently it was pretty serious after all. So MCD had to step in there and fill in.
See, Johnny, don't feel so bad about the scrapping your car now, do you? Huh? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, I mean, you are technically correct. I shouldn't feel that bad. It was pretty minor cosmetic damages to my car, but look, we're unemployed, okay? Like yeah,
I get it. No,
the money goes a long way, okay? That's a lot of meals. That's a lot of.
I kid.
Yeah, I know. We're making fun of it. Any final words on Yeti here? I was gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
you obviously commented on the back line, but
they look fine. But like, I don't have a lot of confidence with Donghack.
Yeah, even Donghack by himself, it's hard.
I have a lot more confidence with Donghack after what I saw on Atlanta, but he still has the mag problem where I don't think he's going to be able to fill in on any of the off tanks.
Yeah, but it's also just like the nature of the open system, OWCS and no real orgs to support. It's just like, this is where you are, you know?
I can say this though, there are less old veteran players yelling at him though. That's one benefit of this team. Yeah,
but he doesn't have some goats in his backline anymore.
He's got Flitter and Fate goading on the coach line is what he's got.
Yeah, okay. Also speaking of ball, I think Donghack low-key got the ball on him. I think he got the ball.
Actually, no, he does.
Yeah.
I think he
was his go-to, right? That was his go-to.
Yeah.
I mean, me and AVRL, we were staunch like anti-Donghack people before the season started. I was just like, yeah, I did some scouting on Donghack. I don't think he's that good of a player. And then he came out on Atlanta Rangers, just obviously rookie of the year.
When you have Chio and Field as your supporters, you better be fucking good. Like,
I would see the Donghack, the Yeti Falcons match. It's gonna feed the Donghack grudge match. It's gonna feed families, I think. Or it's gonna be a tragedy, or it's gonna be a murder scene. Like one of the
It's gonna be 3-0. That's gonna be a fast 3-0. I'm afraid.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a slaughter.
No one's feeding except the Yeti plays dying on repeat. Unfortunately.
All right. Yeah. I think with the lottery's rosters, it's natural. You can only have 5 players. It's you don't have that much room to like get bench players. Like no one really wants to play the bench, and
I think Donghack will improve further because Flitter, the GOAT tank coach, will coach Donghack further. Flitter knows how to play Winston, right? Am I right, guys? And he'll coach some Winston to Donghack for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, Fate's a coach. He should. One thing I don't know about Fate as a coach, but one thing he knows tank. He's gonna make Donghack better.
And Fate knows ball.
Fate doesn't. I mean, I don't think Donghack needs any more help with his ball, but
okay,
he got it on him. The other stuff.
All right. Let's wrap this up quickly. Then we got 2 more teams here. SPG. Again, I watched their match against Runaway. Nothing super exciting, at least in this meta. Again, it was just one match in one meta. That seems pretty rough around the edges, so I don't think we can read too much into it. But are there any names that stand out to you here? I really don't think any of them individually stand up to some of the top teams in the region. So it's going to be like one of the underdog teams for sure.
SPG, at least reputation-wise as a team, and they have held on to a lot of the players they've had before, have at least come second in the contenders a couple of times. But the caveat there is they did that when there was no like GOAT level players in contenders' career. So you didn't have the lips and the shoes and the proppers and the cheer fielders in the region. Now that you have all these like OWL superstars coming in, way fucking harder for some Prisa. Aid is a reasonable Sojourn player. Milgaru knows ball. There's another player that knows ball. There's a lot of, actually, now that I look, there's at least 4 tanks here that know ball. I said 2 earlier, and now we discovered there's actually 4. 2U we know about. Hyunjae we've seen. Lee Sumin we see. Hyunjae played a tiny bit. He played for Infernal in the playoffs. Not a good playoffs for Infernal. They were the one team that dropped out and looked really bad. Lee Sumin, he's been on Seoul Dynasty. I thought he was an okay player, not particularly exciting. 2U we've seen in and out of a bunch of different teams. Did that high ping Paris stint last year with Knife. Just fine. I've never thought 2U was an amazing player, unfortunately, on any team.
Yeah, I agree with that. 2U, he's all right. He's all right. He's all right.
He's all right. He's like your average. He's like a okay.
Yeah. But besides that, maybe like Aid. I think Aid had some decent moments in that match I watched anyway.
He's a decent hit scan.
Yeah.
He's a decent hit scan. He's got some potential there. I don't know how much potential, but he's got some potential.
Look at his contenders history. Go scroll to the bottom of his contenders history.
Close.
Wait, hold on, guys. Nepotism? He is Milgaru's older brother. Wait a second. We got a family affair on this team?
Wait a minute, you're right. Oh my god, you're right. They're brothers. Wait, the storyline. This is incredible.
They both played in Contenders Australia.
And he knows ball.
Exactly, he knows ball.
Wait, he's got the dong hack. He's walking out with the dong hack hero pool, the ball Winston.
Wait, this is so dumb, but I'm like so much more invested in SPG now because their brothers are playing on a team. That's just
cute.
Yeah. They got their story.
Any ex-Owl player jump scares on the staff?
No, I don't think so. I went through it easier. Sky, it's not the Chinese guy.
Maboogie, jump scare.
What team was Maboogie on?
Paris Eternal.
Remember this guy?
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember this guy.
What year was he on Paris? What does that say? What year is it?
That was 2022. Like half the season or something. He quit mid-season. Paris Eternal. What is happening here?
I don't remember at all.
Hey,
man has been playing some qualifiers, I tell you that, or coach some qualifiers. Holy shit. He's been in the Goose Gamers grind.
That was the Gen. I think he was a Gen G, like
Gen G Academy.
Gen G Esports. That was for 5 months.
Yeah.
Team BM for 2 months.
Yeah, the Gen A. That's probably where that's from.
Oh, Gen A. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 6 months.
Back when Gen G had like 1 billion teams.
Gen A, Gen B, Gen S.
Yeah.
3 academies.
Wow, we're deep in the rabbit hole.
Yeah. All right.
Nice to know you, Maboogie.
Yeah, former Owl coach on Simprissa Gaming. Well, he's manager technically, so I don't know. Is he coaching? Who knows?
Yeah, you're manager. General manager even. Wow.
Oh, the general.
The general. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Don't know.
We're doing some live research here on the PLATCHAT podcast. There we go. And Sky was coaching Gen G Esports for a good 8 months or something there.
242 total winnings, not bad.
not bad. Not bad esports earnings.
Not bad for Overwatch guys, I think.
Yeah. There you go. 662 in Apex Challengers Season 5. Here we are. Now we're deep. With Tuba, Basi. I remember Basi, Supreme as coach. I'm just going down the list. This is not
Basi's a Valorant player now.
Basi is a Valorant player? Holy.
Yeah, I think he literally just got signed. Valorant.
Wow, you're up to date on this shit. Wow.
Global esports.
Are you on VLR? Signed. What's happening?
I'm just quick with it. It's like it's all in my head. I'm actually I'm the person that got Neuralinked, so like I'm in there.
He's got all the esports.
Anything you guys want, I can figure it out.
He's got the chat GPT in his brain, just helping him out. Where is Basi now? I don't know. Detonated Korea got Stellar in here. I don't know what we're doing here. Oh, it's a Mystic. Woo.
Albert's doing anything for money these days. I'll fucking get a. You can experiment on my brain for money. That's all good.
Anything, guys. For science, anything. For money, anything.
Holy shit! Apex Challenger Season 5 was stacked. My goodness, there's a lot of good players here.
Wow.
Where are we? Where are we on the internet right now?
This shit is the best. I love this. This is the best.
unfortunately bottom 2 team alongside Vesta Crew.
I don't even know who. I don't know a single player on Vesta Crew.
I know Minute, and that's it. And Minute's fine. He's an okay player, and he's the only guy I've seen on this team, like with any sort of relevancy.
Dart, that sounds familiar, but I don't know. I don't actually think I know who that is.
Who are you talking about?
Dart. Sounds familiar, but I don't. I probably
No,
don't
that
know.
does sound familiar. You're right. Is there a different player called Dart? I feel like I've no.
Darth Raven.
dude, what the fuck is happening? Dart
monkeys.
Wait, what? What's
Total
that
winnings,
picture?
$10.
He's a caster.
Yeah.
Darth Raven, the caster. Wow.
Oh, he won $10 somewhere. You can learn all kind of shit on Wikipedia. It's amazing.
Yeah. No.
I also recognize the name Dart. I don't know why.
He's been in Contenders Korea.
Yeah.
These guys all 5 of these guys have been like hard locked in Contenders Korea for a while, but like not on any impressive teams. They've always been middle of the pack towards bottom, you know. I'm a little surprised that these guys even made it this far. I don't know if there were other teams that could have been here instead, but there's just a lot of missing players. Like this is this the only full Contenders team with no Overwatch League veterancy at all? I think they might be. We look at the 9 rosters. I believe Vester is the only.
Yeah, there's no way any of these played in the Overwatch League. I've never seen these guys
I know
before.
they haven't, but I don't think any of the other 8 teams all have at least one Overwatch League player, right? The other 8 teams.
Tuyu, Hyunjae, Lee Soo-min.
Everyone has at least one Overwatch League player,
Faith.
if not multiple.
Yeah, no, totally.
Vest is the only non-Overwatch League affiliated team in terms of
the underdogs.
Players. By a long shot. This could be unfortunately, this could be the 9th place team. Maybe.
Hey, if they're not, that's gonna be the story to follow. If you want to know more storylines, you know, pay me some money or something. I'll bring storylines to your broadcast. Vesta Crew, can they make it out on the bottom 9?
Dark horses to win it all. Don't let the analysts fool you. They could go all the way.
It could go all the way.
Do we have a bracket of the qualifiers to see who they beat in the qualifiers to get here?
Yeah, that is a good question.
I mean, no.
What was their pathway? Like, how do they?
No, I don't think that was on Wikipedia actually. Someone is sitting on this very valuable information.
We can find. Hold on, I'm neurolinking. Let me.
I'm neurolinking.
Let me talk to Elon real quick and figure this one out.
See, everyone else has to wear those Apple goggles, whereas Albert can just talk to his brain like Iron Man, except he doesn't have to wear the suit.
I don't even know where Korea plays these qualifiers. I don't know. They don't have Faceit over there, so I don't even know where they play this stuff.
It's on WDG.
Warrior GG. Isn't it Warrior GG?
Warrior GG owned by WDG.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not find that. I don't think this is what we should do on the podcast, but you know.
I was just curious. I'm not saying we should research it now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if it was easy to find out, I would have been curious as to who they beat in the qualifier to get here.
Yeah. No, I'm calling it quits on the Korea Open qualifier research. But there you go. All right. We went through the roster successfully. We hit the patch notes. We hit the broadcast details. This is everything I wanted to achieve. I know this was
Profit retirement.
What?
We got to give the Profit retirement.
Okay, we got one more segment to go. All right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, we got one more segment to go here on the Plat Chat podcast. But I did just want to say, I know it was a bit more of a scuffed episode, and we're just like vibing, chatting. I honestly had the greatest of time. Like, I would listen to this podcast, just us talking shit about the Korean, just rosters and all that. I love that. This is what the podcast is all about. But it was less of a show. It was less of a show, less graphical elements, less memes, less funny. So, you know, we miss Solomon dearly, and we hope Solomon comes back next week from VCT Berlin and isn't Valorant pilled and starts doing Valorant broadcasts and actually comes back to help us out. Because Lord knows I need it. But yes, to wrap up the show here on Plat Chat episode 214, we got one more segment. And as the producer, I will type out Bren's player of the week. Room. It is none other than Profit. Of course. Profit retires. I didn't know how to phrase this properly, But before Violet was crowned like the new GOAT, the classic GOAT was Prophet. Like, Prophet was the first GOAT in Overwatch. We were just like, from 2017, you know, just throughout winning the Overwatch League in 2018, second place 2020, just iconic player, legend, all of it. And he's now retired. So
I think Violet is the owl GOAT. I think if you extend the length of time, Prophet's definitely has a better resume pre-owl. No question.
I mean, yeah, that Apex Season 4 win was...
That Royal Road with GC, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And winning the way he won in Apex Season 4 too, I rewatched some of that match on stream. He had so much impact. He was so good. It was like he was the best player in the server. It was unbelievable. And at the time, he was known as like a Tracer one trick, and then he pulled out the Genji and like matched Haxal with it, which was obviously the original Genji GOAT as well. So that's how we got to know Prophet. Such an incredible player. My favorite player of all time. I loved watching him play. Always felt like he could come up with just the most magical moments, just out of nowhere, clutch it up. Playoff Prophet. He earned himself that nickname. MVP in the 2018
the loudest player I've ever witnessed.
Sorry?
Remember the loudest player I've ever witnessed? Do you remember Bala? You could hear Prophet screaming in the hallways at all times.
I did not actually roam the halls as much. I didn't live inside the Blizzard Arena like the teams did, unfortunately. So I missed out on Prophet being loud.
You have to trust me on this one. Prophet, the loudest player I've ever encountered. The loudest Overwatch player by far.
Wow.
And he's quite svelte in figure. So
Albert walked around with one of those decibel meters just around. He recorded everyone.
But yeah, I don't know what else there is to say here for Prophet, really. More than that, it's, you know, it's kind of like one of those moments where it's like, don't be sad it's over, be happy it happened, honestly. Because to me, there will never really quite be anyone like Prophet. So
I'll say it like this. To me, it was 2022 when I realized I think this guy is the unanimous GOAT. And this was where Violet had some contention, but this is where like I think he had that claim over Violet. I think Violet sort of stole that a little bit more towards 2023. But in 2022, the Seoul Dynasty team was so good, and beyond the Seoul Dynasty team being good, Prophet was one of, if not the main reason it was good, because this guy was hyper carrying on that team that had already insane players and insane synergy and everything else, and he still looked like the best player, as the oldest player, as the captain, as like one of the biggest veterans in the Overwatch League. Like, how many pre-Overwatch League players did you have in 2022 still? Like, I don't even know what the number is of like legitimate pros that had been pros since 2017 pre-Overwatch League. Most of them had washed out. Almost all of them had washed out, minus Prophet, who was still there. But it wasn't just that he was still there, because you can exist, you can be a bench player, you can be like the 5th or 6th best team, but he was still like the #1 best team on his team, despite being a player that was there since 2017. That's insane. So I think the most important thing you have to look at, and this is where Albert's correct in terms of talking about longevity, is the OAT part. The of all time part is very important, talking about GOAT, which is why for the longest time Prophet was that guy, definitely in the #1, because he had pre-Overwatch League and Violet did not. But as we move further and further into the future, I think Violet will have that claim more solidified in the future, given that Violet's still in the game.
Yeah.
And
he's had multiple second places now, and you know, Prophet's last year in 2023 was not as good, but it is sad to lose out Prophet, because I felt like he was a very rare player that somehow is this good many years later. So many players fall off after just a year, after 2 years. You know, Albert saying Alfie might be washed already on street. You know what I mean? It's like players who looked really good in 1 year and just looked washed the next year. Absolutely. But I think there are very few years where Prophet did not look good. Like, what was Prophet's worst year? Like the GOAT's year, maybe? I don't know. His worst years aren't even that bad.
No, honestly, it was still good in the GOAT's year, because he was the one who always swapped between Zarya and Brig on that London Spitfire team. And honestly, it was not his fault at all. Like, he was actually, if I remember correctly, I could be very wrong about this, I'm gonna leave that asterisk there, but he was like a really good Brig and Zarya for London Spitfire. The team just didn't have any synergy in that comp. They didn't understand the comp. So even then he was really good. I would say in hindsight, if you did like an overview of his career, I'd say the worst moment in his career was probably the way Seoul Dynasty lost in the 2022 playoffs when he played the Kiriko. And Seoul Dynasty going into the tournament had been playing a lot of Roadhog compositions because that was the early meta or whatever before Dallas Fuel figured out the Reaper, which was also the downfall of the LA Gladiators because they couldn't play Reaper. Seoul Dynasty came into that event having practiced a lot of Roadhog, and Profit in their I think it was their elimination match or it was the upper bracket match, played Kiriko until they realized that didn't work. It was just like a really awkward tournament. A lot of people had very high expectations of Seoul Dynasty, me included, and I think people who were fans of Profit, they just wanted to see him come out in the playoffs and dominate really and have the iconic playoff Profit kind of impact, right, on Tracer and what have you. But instead, that Seoul Dynasty team just like bombed out of the playoffs, playing these comps that weren't actually meta. So also a bit of a black marker, I think, on Miro, who I think Miro was the coach for that team as well, and they just had the wrong comps going into it, and Profit just had a really bad showing in the playoffs as a result of that. So I think that about it, but otherwise it's just sheer consistency.
Yeah, I mean, I think my take is he's been a great player. I think the one nitpick is probably like regular season. Sometimes he's just like he's taking regular season games off, but in playoffs he's anything with actual stakes. Like he'd always play like at his absolute peak. Like he'd pop off. Like the pressure didn't feel like it ever got to him. He only got better with pressure. I would say that and like the the pulse bomb in the wall memes. But other than that, like I mean, I would say great. I mean, certainly the greatest Overwatch 1 DPS of all time, if not player.
Yeah.
I think he definitely has an argument for player as well.
Yeah, because that was another thing, especially in the early days of Overwatch. There weren't a lot of versatile damage players. I haven't done my research really, but that's where strength from bias pick Tvick comes from. The fact that Tvick could play both some hit scan Tracer and play Genji and Pharah, for example. And there were just a handful of those players. Surefour was another pick, for example, that could play those heroes. I do excuse because I haven't researched and I haven't looked back, but there were just a handful of those players who could play all kinds of different heroes. And then one of the matches I watched was actually when Seoul Dynasty played Atlanta Reign in the 2021 Countdown Cup. That was the one where Shu had that incredible moment on LA Gladiators against Chengdu Hunters on Havana. In that Countdown Cup tournament, Profit played against Atlanta Reign like 7 or 9 different heroes in a series. Like he would come out and play Soldier, then it's over to Tracer, he played Genji, he played Mei, he played Pharah, Junkrat at some point. And I'm not even kidding, this is literally a VOD, you can go back and check. He's almost swapping hero every single point throughout the series. It's absurd. And so that was a massive strength, and he was one of the original kind of jack of all trades that was really good on multiple different heroes, which obviously helped him being so impactful in his role. But yeah, there you go. Any additional comments on Profit before we say goodbye and wish him the best of luck in life after Overwatch?
Nope. W Glaze from us, I would say.
I think he still has to go to military or something like that. Has he done? I can't remember.
I don't know. I think wasn't that the thing he said on stream that like he was gonna try to stave that off, but then eventually, he would be able to go to the military, so it might be time.
Yeah, so he's still got that ahead of him. But I was going to say, other than that, there was the potential that you still see him somewhere. He made an allusion to, like, if he would come back, it would have to be the coach, but probably not going to be this year. Is basically what was mentioned, so, yeah.
Wow, old for the man. There you go.
I would have liked to have had his last season be a little bit more impactful, I think. Seoul Dynasty towards the end of 2023 started to pick up again, but it was just too late, unfortunately. I would have liked to have had his career and legacy end on a higher note, if possible. But aside from that, I think everything up until 2022 was just straight fire, so...
Ew,
scatter shot! Ew.
Oh my gosh, I just got PTSD. That slow-mo scatter arrow? Chills. Absolute chills.
That was disgusting.
Still responsible for one of the best Genji defake flicks I've ever seen was Gibraltar versus
the 180.
It was 180 or like a 100 or 120 flick or anything. He had a perfect like millisecond flick onto a Widow deflag headshot was the most insane thing I've ever seen. Bold to see. I can't remember who it was versus, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Speaking of hitbox, I can't wait for the highlight slander nowadays when the projectile sizes are bigger. Anytime someone posts a clip, it's like, well, you want to be able to hit any of those shots on old patch.
Yeah.
See, yeah. That's such cope from people because like you can clearly look at the crosshair and see like
it's gonna be a thing, Avral.
Stuff. It's just
Albert
so lazy
right
and boring as criticism.
Yep. I'm thinking as a shit poster, that's gonna happen. Every time you post it, like that's mid. That's mid for new patch.
You don't know how hard it was back in the good old days of Overwatch to hit shots. You had to be skilled to hit shots like that. Now you don't have to be skilled anymore.
Actually, by the way, now that he has retired, I don't know if Albert can confirm this or if he wants to, but I believe, based on my knowledge, that Prophet was the highest paid AL player of all time. Is that correct,
salary?
Albert? Salary.
I don't have the documents to confirm that information, but I don't
know if you've heard rumors, but I heard, based on what I know, he was the highest player.
I think it's either him or Carpe. It's either him or Carpe.
He was higher paid than Carpe by a bit, but it is though, based on my knowledge, him and Carpe were number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, I was like, those are the top 2. I don't know which one's 1 and which one's 2. But
one is Prophet and 2 is Carpe.
Okay.
I heard the exact numbers, so I have a bit of a. I don't know if I just want to leak that publicly. That's kind of lame, but I don't know. But to my knowledge, it's Prophet then Carpe, then yeah.
Got money.
Original Overwatch League meme. Prophet giving the finger to the camera. that was the funniest thing.
Not safe for Disney, fellas.
Not safe for Disney. We might even have bet on Disney at that point. Honestly, incredible moment. Was fined by Nate Nasser, let the record show. But yeah, there you go. Have it, Prophet. Hopefully you come back, change your mind, to show us some good Overwatch. But it was a great time. All right, we're gonna wrap up this episode. We're gonna go with dinner. Plat Chat episode 214. It is, I believe. Thank you so much for joining me, Avral, Albert. It's a pleasure as always. Hope to have you back on the show. Yeah. Actually, are we having you back next week to chat about the rosters, or are you unavailable?
Yeah, listen, I'll have my laptop with me. I'm on a ski trip, but I'll have internet. It's not like
you will be here.
It's not like a cabin in the woods situation with no internet. So,
you'll be here no matter what.
I'll try to make it. I will try to. If I can make it, I will be there. I will be there.
All right, Avral, we'll see you next week for chatting the EMEA region and North America, but not Saudi Arabia. We already talked about Saudi Arabia. All right. Have a good one, fellas. Take care. Yeah. We'll see you next week.